your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-515-2397. 800-515-2397. That's 800-515-2397.
Bill O'Reilly here, and I'm warming up. Stand by for the O'Reilly Update Morning Edition. But first,
feeling tired, foggy, or low on energy? Your cells might need a boost. That's why many turn to NAD+, a powerful product that supports energy and mental clarity. All Family Pharmacy offers fast shipping, no insurance needed, with more than 200 medications available. Choose what you need, and they'll take care of the rest. Go to allfamilypharmacy, one word, .com/Bill. Use code BILL10 to save 10% today.
on this Thursday, a new poll taken by a gambling outfit in Canada says 47% of Americans would dump their spouse or partner in return for $1 million. Now, that sounds kind of high unless you live in Hollywood, but it's worth thinking about. $1 million no longer buys all that much. Oceanfront homes in nice places run at least 10 times that. So do yachts. And even flashy cars can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. So this sentiment might be more about loyalty than money. We all live in a where's mine age. Self-obsession is as American as pumpkin pie. Many of us just want stuff. An extra million helps in that department, no question. But you're not going to live large unless you move to the Solomon Islands. And what about Becky and Larry, to use friendly companion names? They go under the Hummer for cash? That's kind of cold, is it not? We already know that millions of Americans prefer their pets to spouses and partners. All the surveys say that. I bet that number would be significantly lower if Americans were asked to give up their Pekingese for $1 million. Finally, 15% say they would frame a friend for a crime to acquire $1 million. That's evil and corresponds exactly to my number of rotten human beings. 15% of the population. Lots of folks. Back after this. Homeowners, when is the last time you checked your home title? Scammers are targeting your equity with just a single forged document they file at the county. Find out if you are already a victim today. Please go to HomeTitleLock.com and use promo code BILL to get a free title history report, plus a free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection. That is the Morning O'Reilly Update. More analysis later on.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
The heat wave is over and the weekend forecast looks amazing. But first, today, some stubborn cloud cover, slight chance of a shower. Much cooler, though, with a high this afternoon of only 79. Humidity noticeable, but not terrible. That humidity tumbles quickly tonight into Friday, and then mostly sunny tomorrow with that low humidity. 81 for the high. We're going to ride that wave of sunshine, low humidity, and comfy temps all the way through the weekend. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
What's happening today? Here's your first dose of the news you need to know. This is Mike Ferguson in the morning on NewsTalkSTL.
Let's talk about all the wonky stuff, all of the wonky economic stuff. Hey, the GDP grew by 3%, and everybody says, see, that proves my point. Regardless of what your point is, we find a way to do that because the reality is most of us don't fully understand the deep dive economics, myself included on that. But what does that mean? It means the economy got bigger, that there was some growth in that. Remember, we had negative last quarter. So what does that actually mean? And what should that tell us about what's ahead for our own lives and our own finances? At 7:05, Ryan Young from the Competitive Enterprise Institute is going to kind of break all this down in layman's terms. Hey, good morning. Mike Ferguson here. Thanks for making News Talk STL part of this Thursday morning. Okay, not super political stuff, but how about this? Our friends at the Freedom 13, the organization built around the legacies of the servicemen and women who gave their lives in Afghanistan. They are headed up to Sturgis, and this could be a big deal. It is a big deal. Probably close to 1 million people now are going to learn about the Freedom 13, but they're still doing a lot of work here in the region with the retreat that's being built. Mark Schmitz, founder of the Freedom 13, was on with us on Wednesday and gave us an update on what's happening. Really fascinating stuff and a lot of ways to honor their memories and party. We'll tell you about it right now.
This is a big deal. You guys have been invited to Sturgis. And I know that that's not even just about, the bikes and the concerts and all that kind of stuff. Man, this is a lot of people who are going to find out about the Freedom 13 and what you all do. And I don't want to stereotype too much, but it just seems to me that this is going to be an audience that wants to know about what you do and probably going to be a really supportive group of people you're going to be in front of.
Oh, you got that right. Greg Doolin is my brand ambassador. He's the one actually going to be on ground up there. And he called me up. He said, "This is amazing." As he's driving through the middle of nowhere, he said all these bikers kept coming through in groups, and they would run escorts, flashing him the peace sign, and they would follow in front and behind the truck and trailer on its way up there. And he said it's just giving him goosebumps. And he's getting set up as we speak. We'll be there until August 10th, and right there in Vendor Row at the Full Throttle Saloon. And he said, as he's already parked in the parking lot getting ready, he's just got hundreds of people coming up to him already. So this is going to be amazing.
Hey, Mark, Gabe here. What do you think this means for the Freedom 13 organization and raising its profile?
Well, having a nonprofit like this is not much different than running a regular business, and it's about branding, and this will get us on the national stage again, which we've been on national Fox News, and every time we see a huge uptick in outreach, support, donations, etc. And so there's a huge percentage of the biker community that is veterans.
Mm-hmm.
They're veterans, and so for them to be exposed to what we're trying to do is going to be both big for them as well as huge for us. To get our name and branding out there to so many from all over the country, and in fact, there's many that come from around the world for this event. So obviously, our focus is here in the U.S., but we're happy to talk to any veteran out there.
Yeah, see, I want to follow up on that because I know a lot of veterans who are also bikers, and there are bike clubs and, riding clubs that, they use this in some areas for veterans as ways to, bond and have that outlet and recover from what they've been through as well. So it just seems like there's a whole bunch of natural overlap here. Is this something that could potentially harness that into not just the work you're doing, but the work they're doing and doing something that harnesses that together?
Absolutely. And if you look at our events page, the vast majority of the events that we have going on are somehow bike, car, or Jeep club related. It's just a very tight-knit family community that tend to bond together. And Jesse James Dupree from Jackal, he's personally taken us under his wing and gave us an incredible opportunity and discount to be on site there compared to what a normal vendor is having to pay. So, bringing in all these veterans and the ones that support us here locally, is an amazing opportunity. And we've got so many events coming up that are focused around the bikers and jeepers and truckers and whatnot. They're always the ones that come through for us.
Okay, and just as a complete side note, I saw him and Jackal within the last year out at Diamond Music Hall. They are still a blast to see in person. So I'm assuming they're performing in Sturgis. So much fun. The guy is nuts, and I mean that in the best way possible.
Yeah, they're still kicking, and I believe they're playing on August 8th up there. So Greg's going to be able to hear some of that music, and I just regret not being able to be up there, but just getting away from my job for 2 weeks is just too much.
Yeah.
So Greg's been a huge asset for us.
And also, and by the way, Greg has sent me a lot of pictures as well. I need to get those over too, so we can put them up on social media, Greg. Also, speaking, talking about the Jeeps and the other rides and stuff, you've got the Angels of Abbey ride coming up, and that's going to be coming up about a month from right now. Is there still room for people to get involved in that?
There is. We've rented out the Jefferson Barracks Amphitheater Park down there by Jefferson Barracks Cemetery, which, as many of you know, Jared's buried there. Pardon me. There are tickets still available. We got a permit from St. Louis County for 2,500 people to be there. It is filling up, but which is great because pre-registrations for events like this are very challenging because people are concerned about weather. And it's a month away, and there's no way to know what that weather's going to be. But people are still signing up, and we do have a contingency rain date of September 13th. But the actual event is August 30th. We were trying to keep it as close to the anniversary date of August 26th that we could.
Yeah, and of course you can go to they're going to say all that information's on the website, right?
Right. Yeah, we'll have live bands down there. We're going to have the big Freedom semi truck come through that is going to be set up down there. That's wrapped, a full wrapped semi truck from Bennett family of companies down in Joplin. They're gracious enough to send that thing up. It's a beautiful site. It'll be parked, great photo ops there. Our F-350 wrapped truck and trailer will be there. Another great photo opportunity there. And Trixie Delight, Horns Up, will be playing on stage. And we'll have food vendors and our drink truck, Barley and Vine, will be down there serving drinks and alcoholic and non-alcoholic. But it's going to be a blast. It's a celebration of the lives of those that made the ultimate sacrifice back in 21.
Yeah, no, I want to get to the Freedom Fest part here in just a minute, that concert. But we talk about raising profile and raising the money and getting the donors. I mean, that's what we're talking about this all about with what you're doing with the Freedom 13. What's the update? Last time you were in studio with us, you gave us an update on the retreat that's being built here in Missouri and in some of the initial reaches out into other states as well. What's the progression so far on those?
So we're still working on the Missouri camp, Freedom Camp down in Bourbon, Missouri. We have established a volunteer day once a month. Our next one's coming up August 9th. So people can go to the website and sign up as a volunteer. This particular volunteer day, we're going to be doing some demo work on the existing deck. It's pretty rotted out, so we're going to take that out, and then probably the next volunteer day we'll be rebuilding a new one. But we've got land grading scheduled here in the next probably 2 to 3 weeks. That will obviously lay way to get the septic system in and start getting concrete slabs poured. We've got a lot going on. We did order a custom chicken coop. It'll house 100 chickens on site, and that should be delivered here in the next, I think, right around the time of the volunteer day, actually. But that'll be awesome because then we'll have plenty of eggs and chicken meat and whatnot to be able to feed the veterans on site too. So lots of moving parts. We are getting ready after that land clearing to literally start going vertical. And this is where we're going to be doing a hardcore push to the big box stores to help out, with lumber and everything needed for construction. But we did get the architectural drawings back, and we're ready to roll.
How's the funding on that particular retreat right now?
That's the $1 million question, isn't it? I mean, we started our $13 a month campaign for anybody in the general public that wants to participate without breaking the bank, and you just sign up one time, and that certainly helps, because that's a strength in numbers opportunity there. And it's a little slower growing than I'd hoped, but I think over time it'll start to finally snowball. Really and I haven't had the time to get out and talk to corporations that are looking to get behind missions like ours, but that's really where we need to be focused on right now is the larger dollar or in-kind donation type things where we don't have to pay for the lumber, it's being provided. So that saves a ton of fundraising, obviously. But anybody out there that's looking for a good cause that they want to stand behind, we welcome that conversation because we definitely need the help.
We're visiting with Mark Schmitz from the freedom13.org, and we'll once again repeat that website here in just a couple of minutes. Just last minute or so we've got left here. You mentioned all of these events, which are so much fun, easy ways for people to get involved and also be reminded of the work that you're doing as well. Right up my alley is a rock concert, Rock and Roll Fest, and that's happening on the Illinois side coming up. This is in October, early October. Tell me about Freedom Fest and why I should be there as a metalhead.
Well, Corey, the owner of Hog Pit Barbecue, was gracious enough to let us use his great piece of ground there right on the Mississippi River in Grafton. It's a really cool place if you've never been. You step outside of his bar and boom, you're right there at the river. So it'll be an outdoor music festival for 3 straight days. Tickets are on sale for that with a capacity of about 5,000, I believe. Those are $30, but once you buy a ticket, it's good for all 3 days. So, hopefully by October, we're not going to be having weather like we've been having here. So it should be nice to be outside and jamming with your friends, and all the money raised goes to the Freedom 13 to help us get these camps done. So it'll be a great opportunity to be outside, outdoors, welcome fall, and listen to some great tunes. Okay,
so rock and roll, barbecue, alcohol, and the freedom13.org. I mean, that's pretty much your marketing campaign right there for this event. Yeah.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that one.
All right. And Mark, let's go ahead and give that website information. We've already tagged you all on the social media here as well, but especially for those who say, I can do $13 a month or I can do $20 or $25 a month. What's the way to be in touch? Give them that information real quick.
It's right in the website, too. It's literally the very first button you'll see. We are actually having an app design now as well, which will make it easier for veterans to sign up to stay in the camp as well as donate. The final tweaks are being worked out on that. I do want to mention before jumping off this call, we do have our next gala coming up November 8th at the Foundry Arts Center in St. Charles. And those will be limited tickets, but I think it holds about 400. So tickets are not on sale for that yet, but they will be going soon. And we've got some huge announcements for that, as well as auction items and speakers, etc. So stay tuned for more on that one.
314-912-1019. This is 1019-941 News Talk STL. As always, feel free to jump in and get involved in any of our conversations today. Give me a call or just send me a note through the social media or even on the voicemail option on the News Talk STL app.
Whether at home or at work, you're mobile. So when you're mobile, stay mobile. Keep St. Louis's home for conservative talk with you wherever you go. Download the News Talk STL app in the App Store or at newstalkstl.com.
Tony Colombo here for All Solutions Pest Control, the team Christine and I trust to protect our home. We've used multiple services at multiple homes over the years, and I can tell you from all that experience, All Solutions is second to none. If you have a pest problem of any kind, or more importantly, just want to prevent a problem, All Solutions is the team to call. Learn more and take advantage of their incredible $67 introductory offer right now at allsolutionspestcontrol.com.
If a pest-free home is your goal, call All Solutions Pest Control.
Concerned about the condition of your windows driving up your energy bills? I was too. Until I called STL Windows and Doors. Their Provia windows combine old world craftsmanship the professional way. The Provia way, with over 65 years of combined experience, locally owned, offering competitive pricing and personalized service that the big box companies can't match. Call today for your free in-home estimate and start saving tomorrow. 314-277-5952 or stlwindowsanddoors.com.
Are uneven concrete surfaces causing you headaches? Polytime Concrete Leveling and Restoration has the solution. We're a veteran and family-owned business offering long-lasting solutions for all your concrete problems. From precision concrete leveling to our superior restoration services, our precision polyjacking outperforms traditional mudjacking any day. Call Polytime at 636-487-3282 for a free estimate or visit itspolytime.com. Mention Newstalk STL and get $125 off any job of $600 or more, or 10% off your service.
We aren't asking you to volunteer for CASA. We're asking you to advocate for
Alex,
Andre,
Ava,
Max,
Olivia, Ciara,
CASA volunteers make a lasting impact in a child's life in only a few volunteer hours a week. As a CASA volunteer, you support a child throughout their experience in foster care.
Big news, Sam Page indicted by a grand jury.
Good.
Yeah, so Andrew Bailey not messing around here. I don't know if Sam Page is actually going to get justice for his corruption this time or if he's going to weasel out of it, but we're one step closer to that justice happening here.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going right into an information segment here in just a moment. So let me kind of lay out what we're going to be doing here. In 6:35, we've got Dave Stokes from the Show Me Institute on. Because we're talking about corruption and good government and why we need to watch these things very, very carefully. At 7:35, Tim Fitch, former St. Louis County Police Chief, former St. Louis County Councilman. I remember Page targeted him.
Oh,
and some of the corruption that Page was trying to go after his political opponents was Tim Fitch. So we'll get his thoughts on that. I also caught up with Councilman Mark Harder yesterday, right after this announcement happened. So what's next and what does the council need to be prepared for? I've got some sound bites from him. And also at 8:20, Lauren Trager from KMOV, our news partners, she's going to be with us because there are going to be updates on this in the investigation and in the legal case. This is 2 county executives in a row that have been indicted in St. Louis County.
Jeez.
Right. So basically the county government can't seem to get its act together at the top. The people who are doing the day-to-day stuff, mowing the grass in the parks and whatnot, but they're getting their job done, but the folks at the top can't seem to get stuff done. So we've got a lot of coverage. I'm already watching the chat box on Rumble. Send us notes on Facebook. Email me. Send us a note on the app voicemail. Do you think Sam Page is going to get justice, and where should we go from here?
Tony Colombo here for my dentist, Dr. Matt Boscia at New Creation Dental Care, the one-stop shop for all your family's dental needs. And Dr. Boscia is always expanding his services, now including the incredible all-on-4 full arch implant procedure, full mouth restoration that can give you back your smile in as little as 1 day. No more suffering with damaged or missing teeth or poor-fitting dentures. You can see some amazing smile makeovers, learn more about the all-on-4 procedure, and see everything Dr. Boscia can do right now at newcreationdentalcare.com.
Why leave your company's story to chance? In today's digital world, video content isn't just an option. It's essential for your success. At Blue Ocean Media Group, we've spent decades crafting compelling visual stories for businesses just like yours. From concept to completion, our award-winning team transforms your vision into powerful video content that connects with your audience and drives results. Don't trust your brand to amateurs. Partner with Blue Ocean Media Group. Visit blueoceanmediagroup.com today, and let's bring your story to life.
All aboard!
There's a new way to travel, and it's one of the oldest forms of transportation, travel by train. Yes, consider traveling around the United States on Amtrak. Traveling by train is a lot less of a headache than taking a plane, and you'd be surprised how many places you can go on an Amtrak, and there's no passports or IDs needed. Find out how to get where you're going as soon as tomorrow by train. Call the Amtrak Travel Hotline right now. We'll book your trip and email your tickets within minutes. Skip the drive to the airport and skip the lines. Call right now to book your Amtrak reservations. We service most of the United States.
All aboard!
Do something new. Travel by Amtrak today.
800-867-6917. 800-867-6917. 800-867-6917. That's 800-867-6917.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at newstalkstl.com.
I'm Rich Thomason. President Trump says the naysayers got it all wrong. They predicted the Trump tariffs would sink the U.S. economy. when in reality, the president says the economy is booming, as evidenced by the latest surprisingly robust GDP report. And while the president's call for the Fed to lower interest rates has fallen on deaf ears yet again, economist Gus Fauché says some Fed board members do agree with the president.
We did see two members of the Board of Governors dissent and call for a rate cut. President Trump has been very aggressively arguing that the Fed needs to cut rates, and we did see two participants vote for rate cuts, and so that does suggest that the president's pressure campaign is having an impact.
Fauché, an economist with PNC Financial Services Group. South Korea, the latest country to sign a trade deal with the U.S., calls for a 15% tariff on South Korean imports. President Trump says South Korea has agreed to buy American energy and will invest $350 billion in the U.S. An arrest in the murder of a mother and father. They were killed in front of their two young children.
Arkansas State Police special agents have arrested James Andrew McGann, 28, of Springdale. He's been charged with 2 counts of capital murder in the deaths of Clinton David Brink and Kristen Amanda Brink. Clinton and Kristen were killed on Saturday, July 26, 2025, at Devil's Den State Park.
Arkansas State Police Colonel Mike Hager heard there on KHBS KHOG. The youngsters ages 7 and 9 were not hurt. Again, charged with 2 counts of capital murder, and there's been no word on a motive. A Colorado dentist convicted of murder and the poisoning death of his wife. James Craig sentenced to life in prison, no chance of parole. Now futures up 133. More on these stories at townhall.com.
The following is not an actor, but a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
Hi, my name's Neil. I have some advice for you if you've been trying to break free from credit card debt. You can start by doing what I did. Get your bills together and call Trinity Debt Management. Trinity is dedicated to helping people like me become debt-free. When I called, my first experience was a feeling of relief. My counselor was kind, and best of all, she didn't judge me. In just a few minutes, she helped me figure out a plan that consolidated all my bills into one lower monthly payment. This substantially reduced my high interest rates and put me on the road to success. In the end, I saved thousands in interest, and today my credit card debt is a thing of the past.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976.
My name is Neil. Take it from someone who's been there. Call Trinity and become debt-free for keeps.
1-800-990-6976.
Ongoing unrest
from the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
The heat wave is over, and the weekend forecast looks amazing. But first, today, some stubborn cloud cover, slight chance of a shower. Much cooler, though, with a high this afternoon of only 79. Humidity noticeable, but not terrible. That humidity tumbles quickly tonight into Friday, and then mostly sunny tomorrow with that low humidity, 81 for the high. We're going to ride that wave of sunshine, low humidity, and comfy temps all the way through the weekend. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
This hour of News Talk STL brought to you by Chris Cooper and Serenity Wealth Management. Discover little-known strategies that could be the difference between choosing the care you deserve or having someone else decide it for you. Get a free copy of Chris's book at serenityltc.com.
Life's legal challenges deserve experienced representation. For over 15 years, Cole Combs Attorney at Law has been serving St. Charles and surrounding counties with comprehensive legal expertise. From tax preparation and estate planning to family law and criminal defense, Cole delivers personalized solutions for your unique situation. We have traffic tickets, need a business formation, real estate matters, one call will handle it all. Cole O. Combs Attorney at Law. Call 636-949-0010 extension 3 today or visit colecombs-law.com.
JC's Wayback Machine.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High came out this week in 1982. You'll hear Phoebe Cates talk about the infamous carrot scene. Our A-list interview is with crazy man Seth Rogen, and it's back to 1988 for my appearance on the Sally Jesse Raphael Show. Plus, I'll tell you about how I accidentally felt up Morgan Fairchild twice. It's all brought to you by the Weber Automotive Group.
It's JC's Wayback Machine. Every Saturday night, 6 to 9 on News Talk STL. If you find yourself feeling out of place in the world, it's comforting to know conservative values haven't been abandoned everywhere.
The far left wants to destroy conservative values in America.
This is News Talk STL. Welcome home. Mike Ferguson.
Are you being intentionally dense?
Gabe Phifer.
It would take a computerized Falcon mind such as yours to make that kind of a statement.
Get up, St. Louis.
This job could be done by a monkey with a bottle of Motrin.
Mike Ferguson in the morning on News Talk STL.
Get up, get up. This is your cousin.
All right. The top politician in St. Louis County is headed for a date in court after a grand jury indicts him. This is now 2 in a row for St. Louis County. 2 county executives facing indictment. The last guy, by the way, went to jail.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm hoping. I've got my fingers crossed for this one.
So we're going to get into this. We've got coverage throughout the morning on this, and I want to know what you think. I already put the question out in the Rumble chat box. Do you think Sam Page is actually going to be held accountable for something this time? Or do you think he's going to slide out of it? Send us notes on the Facebook comments, or you can email us or send us a note on, through the app. There's all kinds of ways you can get involved in that conversation. I'm really curious what people think about this, because it's a lot of us are going, yeah, get him. But do you think it's actually going to happen this time? So we'll get into that again from a variety of perspectives on this. Also, so it's not a hoax that duped stupid Republicans anymore, apparently, or maybe it is. The White House changes its tune on the Epstein case again.
Really? Again?
Yeah, but I think they've changed it back. Even I don't.
Okay, so this is the fourth, the fourth iteration.
At least.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Let's see if it's any good.
A couple of Cardinals pitchers are not Cardinals pitchers anymore.
Whoa.
All right. Coming up on 6:07, let's dump some news on you here.
The morning news dump.
Are you joking? Is this a joke?
Listen, folks. The morning news dump.
All right. One word: indicted. St. Louis County Executive Sam Page now faces 4 counts from a grand jury. He's accused of violating election law by a political subdivision officer, and he also faces 1 count of stealing $25,000 or more and another count of stealing $750 or more. The indictment is related to Page's use of taxpayer funds to produce and send mailers to voters in opposition to Proposition B, which was voted down in April. We are going to get into the details of the indictment shortly here. But as of right now, Sam Page now facing 4 counts from an indictment from a grand jury. The special prosecutor in the case is Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey. Okay, a White House communications official says the DOJ is leaving no stone unturned in its investigation into the Epstein files. Here's the story.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. Special Assistant to the President, Harrison Field, says the president may have more to say about the Epstein case once the investigation wraps up.
We've got some good cops in the Department of Justice and the FBI looking at the facts as they have them.
As for critics or even Trump supporters worried he may be slow-walking the process to protect his own administration, Field says it's simply not the case.
The one thing the president's going to do is stand for transparency. There's truly nothing to hide.
Harrison Fields was interviewed by the Salem Radio Network. Bob Agnew reporting.
Okay, but the case is closed, but we're finishing the investigation, and it was all a hoax, you stupid Republicans, but we're going to leave no stone unturned, and we're all about transparency.
Maybe we should move on.
But influencers and media, stop talking about this.
I don't understand.
What the...
and I mean, I have the official FBI DOJ report, pinned up behind me. I'm sure the people on the stream can't see it, but they said that they found nothing in their evidence right now that would implement anybody besides Maxwell and Epstein. So what's going on with this?
I know. Wait a few minutes. They'll probably change their tune.
I am so confused.
I know, exactly. All right. President Trump goes on an insult-filled rant against Senator Josh Hawley.
Right. And okay, so it's funny because we were talking about this off air, and I was like, okay, because we get good Trump and we get bad Trump.
Right, yeah.
We get good Hawley and bad Hawley. So then which version of which is fighting whom?
I think that we've decided this is bad Trump against good Hawley.
Okay, all right, okay. That's we got to keep our scorecards.
This is so
correct.
bizarre here. I mean, just despite the fact that Josh Hawley has been one of Donald Trump's most vocal supporters for years.
Oh, yeah.
Years.
Since the start.
Oh, yeah. The president is upset with the senator's support of a vote that bans stock trading by members of Congress, vice presidents, and presidents. The bill passed the committee 8-7. So I think maybe around 6:20. Let's read the social media post. I'm curious what people think about.
Yeah, because I'm reading it. I'm like, wait a minute, this sounds like the opposite of what is actually happening. Like I don't understand what's happening. I honestly do not.
It's really unhinged.
Yeah,
It's 620.
Did somebody tell him something different? Like, because it doesn't read like what's actually happening.
I know, it's so weird. Yeah, we'll get into that. All right, the Federal Open Markets Committee, which basically we're talking about, the voting body of the Fed there, kept interest rates steady for a fifth time on Wednesday. Now, that is despite calls from President Trump and members of the administration wanting them to lower interest rates. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell tells reporters the central bank will continue keeping rates a little bit higher than what the president wants for longer because of uncertainty from the president's tariffs.
It seems to me and to almost the whole committee that the economy is not performing as though restrictive policy is holding it back inappropriately, and modestly restrictive policy seems appropriate.
Okay, so 2 members of the Fed's Board of Governors voted to reduce rates, while 9 others, including Powell, voted in favor of keeping the rates the same. The decision comes as second quarter GDP grew by about 3%. It was actually better than expected. So
I think it was 2.6 was the original estimate.
Yeah, so the arrows are going in the right direction in a lot of ways. Consumer spending grew a little bit, just over 1%. So we're going to get into a little bit of the nitty gritty and what this actually means to you at 7:05 with Ryan Young.
Really curious what he has to say about it.
Yep. All right. The Humane Society of Missouri is in the process of rescuing about 180 animals, including about 150 dogs, from an apparent hoarding situation in Christian County. Man, the details of this are just gross.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. We're talking cats, rabbits, and birds make up the rest of the critters who were found stuffed into a house in disgusting conditions.
Oh, boy.
And when they found them, they were still in the midst of the heat wave as well.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
They said that in some rooms, the animals were just stuffed in there, as in there was no room on the floor. Some animals had found, their ways into holes in the wall, and they were just, 180 animals into this one house.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, so the Humane Society is asking for donations of blankets, newspapers, and, toys, and, of course, funds to care for the animals while they are being evaluated and treated, because 180 animals is a little more than what they probably planned for in budget, so they're stretched a little thin right now, and they're finishing the rescues today.
Yeah, in my personal experience working with various different 180 animals would overwhelm the vast majority. So if there's anything we can do to help out with that, I'm 100% on board.
180 animals in a month would be a lot.
Yes.
For most. Yeah. So in matter of one case. So once those animals are medically cleared, the rescues will then be put up for adoption. Okay, sports stuff. A few things going on here. The Cardinals lose the final game of the series to the Marlins at Busch Stadium, which means they lose the series to the Marlins. The final score was 2-0. That is twice in a row the Cardinals have been shut out. Today's a travel day, so they're not going to lose today. There's no game today. And the Cardinals start a road series with the Padres on Friday. The Cardinals are now 55-55 on the season, so we're right at 500. They are in 4th place in the division, and they are 10 games behind the NL Central leading Chicago Cubs. Okay, so the Redbirds are making some roster changes. My guess is these are not the last ones as the trade deadline approaches here. Pitcher Ryan Helsley, who just last year was the best closer in Major League Baseball, having a mediocre season this year, but pitcher Ryan Helsley has been traded to the Mets in exchange for 3 prospects, including 2 pitchers. Pitcher Steven Matz has been dealt to the Red Sox in exchange for infielder Blaze Jordan. Then I am convinced that's not a real name. That's a pro wrestling stage
Blaze
name.
Jordan. Yeah,
Blaze
that
Jordan.
does
Come on.
sound like a wrestling name.
That's not a real name. That's a stage name of some kind. I'm just saying there. My guess is that you're going to see more trades in the next 24 hours with the Cardinals, and I think they're kind of what they call a fire sale.
Right.
I think that the Cardinals are probably going to start trading some of your favorite players. Do not be surprised if some of their biggest names are up on the trading block. And what they are trying to do is load up on a bunch of pitchers. That's what they're looking to do. All right. So we'll keep you updated on that from day to day. Okay. We are going to be in the depths of the Sam Page indictment, because as much as we just don't like Sam Page, this is a really, really big deal. And let's talk about the president just going off on Josh Hawley.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing to disagree, but wailing on your friends like that. That's an interesting take.
Yeah, that's our job.
That's right.
I've had enough of this. Turn my eyes to your indifference. Stop right now before you blow us all away. You wanna do that?
Mike Ferguson in the morning.
He picked the wrong schoolyard to come into, I have to tell you this.
On News Talk STL.
Hi, I'm Rodney Wallner.
And I'm Jen Wallner with the Wallner Home Selling Team at Berkshire Hathaway.
Hey, Jen, how do you sell your home for top dollar?
That's easy. Call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD.
What if I want a flexible commission plan?
Call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD.
What's the best time to sell your home?
Right now, call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD.
For all your real estate needs, call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD.
That's 314-810-SOLD.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps in the afternoon.
Co-host of Wake Up America on Newsmax, Mark Lauder.
This is not Iraq. This is not talking about boots on the ground and changing a government. We're talking about a few bombs that only we have, and that for most likely we are the only ones that can deliver. And we're not talking about atomic weapons. We're talking about the bunker busters that can actually steal the deal.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps. Weekdays at 4 on News Talk STL.
Hey folks, Jamie Allman here. Exciting things are happening at the Hideout in High Ridge. Famous for the Sunset Patio, 4 big screen TVs, live music and events, and of course, the wings. The Hideout now has a brand new menu featuring handcrafted burgers and new items like their signature sunset dip and Dave's Chili. And now a second location, the Hideout at Sugar Creek Golf Course in High Ridge, featuring great event space. You can stop by for lunch or dinner. The new 2025 Hideout and the new Hideout at Sugar Creek Golf Course. We'll see you there.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf.
800-240-4586. 800-240-4586. That's 800-240-4586.
This hour of Mike Ferguson in the morning is brought to you by Stifel. Request a portfolio review from your Stifel financial advisor at stifel.com. That's STIFEL.com.
Hi, it's Randy Tobler here. Pour a big cup of coffee and catch my show every Saturday morning from 6 to 9. Right now, it's back to Mike Ferguson in the morning here on News Talk STL.
All right, we're getting a lot of thoughts on the Sam Page situation. Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey ain't messing around. Tell us what you think is going to happen with Sam Page now that he has been indicted. So I want to go head first into this at 6:35, guys. Okay. For instance, 101 straight up on the Rumble chat box. He says, sad to say, I doubt Page will be held too accountable. After all, and he's quoting, as a doctor, I've stepped in to help save lives. As a public servant, I've stepped in to root out corruption. And of course, that's from his website. And, that's very possible that this will be negotiated. I don't know. We'll find out.
Mm-hmm.
There is a felony count here. Allison says if they follow the money and the evidence, then he will be held accountable. Will they do that, though? That is the big question.
Absolutely.
All right. 6:35 on that. It is coming up on 6:19 right now. All right. Man, President Trump goes off on Josh Hawley.
Yeah, I'm looking at this and I mean, it's standard fare for what happens when you get on the president's bad side. I mean, but yeah. I'm confused as to the premise. How did we get here?
I know. Yeah, and the thing is that the bill in question, literally like the day before, the president was like, yeah, in concept, I'm okay with this and all that kind of stuff. And then it just kind of exploded out of nowhere on the social media temper tantrum.
Well, and the temper tantrum doesn't even sound like it's against the bill.
Right.
That's the thing that it's like, why are you going off on Holly? Because he's supported what is happening? I don't understand what's happening.
Yeah, the thing that stood out to me was apparently, you guys have the tweet in front of you. I don't, but I saw the tweet.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, or social truth post. I don't know which one, but it was because he had worked with some of the Democrats to get this passed, and which is ironic if you think about it, because it's named the Pelosi Act,
right?
And you wouldn't necessarily think of Democrats going and supporting something that would be anti-Pelosi. But
Yeah, so it was a committee vote. So this is not even, it's going to the full Senate. So here's what it basically is. It would ban members of Congress and vice presidents and presidents from trading or possibly even owning individual stocks.
Okay.
I
think that's what we all wanted.
Yeah, I mean, and so obviously it's to prevent insider trading. And here's the thing, though, it exempts the current administration.
Okay.
So basically, it's not saying that if we pass this, you have to go sell all your stock.
Right. This is like, okay, so this is for later.
Right. It's for the next president.
There's a delay.
And for members of Congress. Now, as I understand the bill, and there may be somebody who says, no, Mike, that's not right. We're talking specifically individual stocks. We're not talking about mutual funds. We're not talking about a crypto. We're not talking about things like bonds or whatever the case is. We're talking about individual stocks that could be affected by the work that you actually do from a regulation standpoint. So I think we should just read the president's Truth Social post, just word for word, Gabe. So let me start with this so that everybody gets the full picture of what he actually said. I'll start. Why would one Republican, and Republican is in quotes, Senator Josh Hawley from the great state of Missouri, join with all of the Democrats to block a review sponsored by Senator Rick Scott and with the support of almost all other Republicans of Nancy Pelosi's stock trading over the last 25 years. That doesn't even make sense as a sentence. That's construction wise. The information was inappropriately released just minutes before the vote, very much like sabotage, all capital letters. The Democrats, because of our tremendous achievements and success, have been trying to target, and the word target is in quotes for some reason, to target me for a long period of time, and they're using Josh Hawley, who I got elected twice, as a pawn to help them. Okay, let me stop there, and then Gabe, I'll have you pick up the rest of them. First of all, Donald Trump did not get Josh Hawley elected twice. Missouri is a deep red state.
He didn't even need the help.
He didn't need the president's help. And if the president handpicked an opponent for Josh Hawley right now, Josh Hawley would beat that handpicked opponent by 12 to 15 points.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm very critical of Josh Hawley increasingly becoming a big government Republican, but it's just nonsense for the president to say, I got Josh Hawley elected twice. That's just ridiculous.
It's not true.
Ridiculous on its face to say that. Okay, can you pick up the rest? And these are the president's words.
Right. Okay. So then I wonder why Hawley would pass a bill that Nancy Pelosi is in absolute love with. He is playing right into the dirty hands of the Democrats. It's a great bill for her and her quote husband. I don't know whether, but so bad for our country. I don't think real Republicans want to see their president, who has had unprecedented success, targeted because of the quote whims of a second-tier senator named Josh Hawley. I'm confused by these two sections of the statement. Okay, so the first section is the one that really gets me, because I don't understand this. It's I guess it's referencing some sort of procedural thing that happened in the committee, because his suggestion is that Hawley blocked a review of Nancy Pelosi's trading over the last 25 years. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's related to the passage of the bill, and I don't even know if you know how that's related to all of this, because it seems to be opposite of what he goes on to say, that Hawley is in favor of a bill that Nancy Pelosi loves. So is the suggestion, and just kind of help me unpack this. Everybody comment in the chat there. Is this suggesting that the current bill, which at least as best as I think analysis shows, is targeting Nancy Pelosi? Is this suggestion? Is this bill actually targeting Donald Trump? And how does it help the Democrats? How does it help Nancy Pelosi?
Yeah, because what was weird is the Democrats voted for it, the Republicans voted against it.
Yeah, I don't understand what's in this bill.
So when I first saw this being proposed months ago, this is how far back he's been fighting for this. Nancy Pelosi consistently has been among the few holdouts saying, I will not support this because the entire purpose of the bill or the law would be to stop people in Congress from being able to trade because of accusations and fears of insider trading, which Nancy Pelosi's portfolio outperforms quite a few people that are professional hedge fund managers. So I'm just saying, but the idea that Nancy Pelosi would like this bill, and Josh Hawley actually found a response about that statement posted by Politico. But it has nothing to do with she spoke out against it and then immediately went on did an interview where she said that she felt targeted by this. Why are they targeting me? Why are they so focused on me? It's not me. It's my husband that does these trades.
Well, this would also apply to spouses.
It would. And so
and that's, by the way, something that could possibly be challenged in court.
And that should be, because the original version was also, if you have any sort of holdings at all or any sort of business holdings, then you should also have to, get rid of those before you become a congressperson.
Which I disagree with.
Yeah, I mean,
if you own a business, I want people who are connected and have skin in the game of the economy.
But when it comes to trading stocks and buying stocks, that's an entirely different beast, especially because of how much, you could pass a law that would then affect the price of a stock.
Right.
So Pelosi,
but that would never happen. Okay.
So this seems like either President Trump did not necessarily pay enough attention to what was actually being put in there, or he feels that somehow he would be threatened with his investments. And Josh Hawley even says this would not affect President Trump at all. This
He's
is meant to
exempted.
go after Nancy Pelosi and people like her in Congress.
Yeah, and Josh Hawley went on, I think it was Jesse Waters last night, and basically like, oh yeah, I still got love for Donald Trump, and so he's still kind of bending the knee to Trump, and that's a little bizarre to me, because I mean, you've got somebody who has essentially been a I can't remember really more than one or two times that Josh Hawley has in a minor way disagreed with President Trump. For the most part, he's been in complete lockstep with President Trump. And so he disagrees on one issue and he gets beaten down, second tier, dirty hands. I mean, is that, listen, you're not safe with Donald Trump at any point. If it's like, no, we're tight, he supports me, I can, well, yeah, until you do or say one thing he doesn't like. Listen, I'll just say it. That social media post, guys, those are not the rantings of a stable person.
Let me play devil's advocate just for a second, because I want to check myself on my where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
Is there a possibility that there is some strange poison pill in this bill that would cause Donald Trump to react this way and perhaps be what some Democrats are excited about?
There absolutely is always that possibility, which would then be, they're going to debate in the full U.S. Senate on this.
Okay.
It's the personal attack.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's always out of pocket. But.
Second tier. I mean, that's the unstable thing.
Yeah.
That's just so bizarre, and those are the kind of rantings, especially when basically what you have is, you didn't do what I told you to do. And Josh Hawley's, goes on Jesse Waters. He goes basically saying, yeah, it was just a misunderstanding. We're going to figure it out. Listen, you do that to me, we're not going to be friends. If you attack my character, you decide to, it's one thing to disagree. I'm all about that, but if you go on and you attack somebody's character and you want to denigrate them, we're not friends. I am telling you, there are people that I am not friends with for that very, very reason. And I won't be, and they have, I'll leave it at that, because I think some people know what I'm talking about.
Now, this is a significant difference between Midwestern and Eastern values. And I have to, as somebody who grew up in both places,
go into that.
I've spent 20 years in both places.
Yeah.
All right. In the Midwest, your word is your bond.
Mm-hmm.
When you say the thing, it's because you meant the thing.
Yeah.
Right. And I have to take everything that comes out of your mouth very seriously. And I have to take it to heart. It says who you are. In New York, words are, how do I put this? There's the possibility that it's true. There's the possibility that it's being used as a tool. And there's a possibility that the exaggeration of it is part of the usage.
I mean, is this similar to, well, that's just Trump, you have to understand?
No, it's New Yorkers.
Yeah, I'm having trouble buying that though. I mean,
I grew up there, man.
Yeah.
It's different. It's a different world. I'm trying to tell you,
So would
it's
I
a
just
different
have-
culture.
would
It's
I just
actually
have-
a different culture.
So would I just have zero friends if I lived in New York?
Yes.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
Or Chicago.
Well, I know Chicago. Yeah, that's because
Everybody
basically-
will F-bomb the crap out of you,
Right.
and question your character for the most mundane of small things.
Yeah, I mean, I've F-bombed a few people from time to time, but I've never gone after their character.
Oh no, the character's on the table. In
Yeah,
New
see,
York.
that is.
Oh,
that
it's
is
absolutely a step too far in my view.
Yeah, and that
One of the reasons
that
I moved out to
shows
the
a
Midwest.
lower level of character.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I mean, that's a lower level of culture and a lower level of character.
Now, I'm not endorsing New York culture, by
Right.
the way. Like
Yeah.
this is not an endorsement.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that I understand it having lived there. So
Yeah,
it's,
see, but
I will say that.
I don't think we should accept that. And
Oh,
I don't think
no.
Josh Hawley should accept it, even though he's the president.
No, absolutely. Yeah. Do not accept it. I think pushing back on that sort of thing is important for our country.
Now, Joker from the Rumble stream. Good morning, Joker. Thanks for joining us again. Holly is a weasel. He's become part of the establishment. Trump was right to call him out.
Okay, I have no argument with
the first part
with Holly becoming part of the establishment, and I call him out on stuff too. Calling you out on a bad vote's one thing. First of all, just being dishonest about I got you elected. No, he didn't. Trump did not get him elected. And the second part is, basically I'm going to denigrate somebody when I'm calling them out on a vote I disagree with. That shows you can't be trusted.
Oh yeah, I mean personally, I'm not. I don't like these this over the top reactions to everything that he does. This is the thing that would have been scraped off if he had actually been in politics for any period of time. Because you'll notice in New York politicians don't actually usually go this hard. This is definitely New York businessman talk.
This is why I can't run for office again or sit, because something like this happens.
You're out.
I'm the biggest pain in your ass after this, just because I'm going to take it personally, and I know you shouldn't. But like I've disagreed with a number of my friends over the past week. Guess what? We're still friends.
Right? Yeah. Same. I couldn't be in this game. I would basically want to destroy everybody.
Yeah, I mean that's
I got you guys. I'll take one for the team.
You got us. All right. Now another St. Louis County executive faces felony charges. What's next in the Sam Page saga? Will we actually see him held accountable for something? That's what we're discussing at 6:35.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
The heat wave is over and the weekend forecast looks amazing. But first, today, some stubborn cloud cover, slight chance of a shower. Much cooler, though, with a high this afternoon of only 79. Humidity noticeable, but not terrible. That humidity tumbles quickly tonight into Friday, and then mostly sunny tomorrow with that low humidity. 81 for the high. We're going to ride that wave of sunshine, low humidity, and comfy temps all the way through the weekend. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
Well, it is definitely summer here in the Heartland. Time to call Hanson's Tree Service for all of your commercial and residential tree care. Tim Jones here for Hanson's Tree Service. Let them come out to your homestead or your business today. Take care of everything regarding the exterior of your home. Grinding and land clearing, all residential and commercial tree services. They've got fantastic organic mulch in bulk, plant health care as well. Give them a call, 636-379-1830, 24/7. They're always available at hansonstree.com. That's hansonstree.com.
Hey there, Chris Cooper here, Serenity Wealth Management. Join us this Sunday on News Talk STL, 9 a.m. for Serenity Wealth Now Radio. In studio, we've got a special guest, Dave Phillips, retired Major League Baseball umpire, lives right here in the St. Louis area. He's going to join us, talk about baseball, and have a little fun. News Talk STL, Sunday morning, 9 a.m., or on Serenity Wealth Now socials.
Serenity Wealth Now with Chris Cooper. Sunday mornings at 9 on News Talk STL.
Investment advice offered through Fortis Capital Advisors, LLC.
Tony Colombo here for Gutter Pros, your all-in-one gutter service team that brings years of experience and quality that's affordable right to your doorstep. We discovered Gutter Pros a few years ago when we bought our home and inherited a gutter issue that was on the road to becoming a potentially big problem, but thanks to Gutter Pros was stopped before causing any major damage. They've also repaired the siding on our home because along with gutter repair, gutter installation, and leaf protection, the Gutter Pros are also the best for siding repair and installation. Learn about all the ways Gutter Pros can help your home at gutterpros.com.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps in the afternoon.
Canada and France have announced they will recognize a Palestinian state in September. We'll ask Steve Bucci of Heritage if this is a reward to Hamas.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps. Weekdays at 4 on News Talk STL.
Hi, this is Jefferson County Councilman Billy Crow with a reminder to check out our new show, Jeffco Patriot Radio, this and every Sunday at high noon. Now, back to the Mike Ferguson in the Morning Show.
All right, the big news this week. Sam Page now faces a 4-count indictment. This should be about more than just we don't like it.
It's a really big deal.
It should be about more than that. It should be about, making sure that we can, build and reclaim good, transparent government. And then what happens to those who violate the rules and violate that trust that we put elected officials in when we hire them on election day? We're now joined by David Stokes from the Show Me Institute. David, man, good to chat with you here. The Show Me Institute, obviously, you guys get into good government as far as regulations and taxes and spending and transparency and all these things. These indictments here, because we're unfortunately getting used to this in St. Louis County. But this is about more than just we like or dislike Sam Page or agree or disagree with him. This is about much bigger than that. This is about transparent government where officials stay in their lane. What was your reaction when you heard about the actual indictment itself?
My reaction was very surprised, certainly stunned almost, that this has reached the level of an indictment. And I'm not saying it should have or should not have. That's a choice for prosecutors and judges and juries. But, this practice overall of governments taking sides and spending taxpayer money to clearly, they might say it's neutral, but it's not neutral. The practice of it happens all the time. And the best thing that can come out of this is if that practice stops. If the next time a city has a tax increase or a school district has a bond issue, they don't send out a totally biased mailing, whether they claim it's neutral or not. They never are. So this happens all the time. We've seen, with all the use tax votes, meaning the online sales tax votes and marijuana tax votes. I mean, cities and counties were sending out biased mailings, for information purposes only. I'm using air quotes on that. And it's not even remotely neutral for anybody who reads it with any type of an open mind. There's a tremendous bias in all these mailings. And for that practice to stop or be severely curtailed would be the best thing that comes out of this.
Yeah, you're taking the approach that I've been trying to argue for years on these mailings and other let's call it what it is. It's campaign stuff. It's taxpayer expense on this. So when you look at you talk about being surprised that this has gone to this level now in indictment and charges and all of that sort of thing. Is it possible that even the indictment can kind of send a chilling effect to all these other city halls and school boards and can it send a chilling effect to get them to watch their P's and Q's and start abiding by that law? Or does it really come down to whether or not there are any consequences for Sam Page? He may skate on this. He may get acquitted. They may drop the charges. If he is not held accountable for clearly breaking the law on this, is there still a chance that the message can be sent to every one of these other government entities who, like you said, basically do the exact same thing every election cycle?
Absolutely. I think the message is out there. And I don't necessarily think it's good that Sam Page is being the poster boy for it or not. I mean, again, this particular charge, whether it be the misdemeanor election violations or the more serious felony stealing charges, it's going to be incredibly interesting to see if he does resign. The charter does not require a resignation on indictment, only on conviction. And the charter doesn't appear to require resignation if convicted of a misdemeanor, only if the felony. And it's certainly possible, and I'm not a lawyer, but it's certainly possible he could be convicted of the misdemeanors and acquitted of the felonies. So then does he resign or not? I mean, these are just the interesting things that will play out in the coming months here. But in the bigger picture, yeah, the message is sent, and I would be cautiously. I'm optimistic that this practice will stop. Again, with the use tax votes, those were the online sales taxes that have been approved by voters in hundreds of Missouri cities and counties in recent years. I mean, the mailings that the cities are all sending out, and I've FOIA'd this information from the various cities, and I think it's egregious. Now, nobody's charged these cities with a crime, so maybe I'm wrong, but they're just sending out totally and completely biased information and that's just one example of many, many, many stuff. So Tom Sullivan, the great gadfly in St. Louis County, who's a friend of mine, he's been doing amazing work on this topic for decades now. And this will be the time that I think it really improves, because if the most powerful local government official in Missouri are being indicted, and trust me when I say that the St. Louis County executive is far and away the most powerful local official in Missouri, if that doesn't scare some part-time school board member or part-time city council member from some village, then nothing will. So I'm not saying Sam Page whether he's guilty or not is a different thing, but in the bigger picture, this will, I'm confident, lead to improvements in the way this stuff is done around the state.
Good morning, David. Gabe, Phifer here. So in your view, what would be the best outcome for this situation? What if you had your druthers and we come out on the other side of the Sam Page indictment, the post-trial and everything, what is the political landscape look like?
At the local government level, for cities, school boards, counties, and the like, to simply not spend taxpayer dollars at all on these whether ballot propositions or tax increases or the like, simply not do it, because I don't think there's a way they'll do it in a neutral fashion. The second thing is, if they do spend money on it, at least really make an attempt to make it fact-based and neutral. Again, I don't think they've succeeded in that, so just not doing it, not sending out these mailings, just allowing third-party groups, the League of Women Voters, the Show Me Institute, a lot of other organizations to put their thoughts out, but for tax dollars to just be kept out of it entirely, whether it be the smallest bond issue or the most important ballot proposition or whatever, to just not do taxpayer-funded politicking any further would be a wonderful outcome.
We're visiting with David Stokes from the Show Me Institute. Okay, David, I've been there. I've been in the elected official position. I've had these arguments with city managers, and when I was a reporter covering school boards and city halls, I had these debates with people. Here's what they argue. Here's what they say. Well, we can basically say whatever we want as long as we don't say the words vote yes or vote no. Or support or oppose. As long as we don't have a specific call to action, we can educate the voters and make it look as good or as bad as we want. That's what our League of Missouri Municipal League and that's what our council tells us. That's the mindset that a lot of city halls, and that's the mindset that a lot of school boards, that's a mindset a lot of county governments are having, and a lot of through their associations. They say, well, as long as we don't do this, we're legally in the limit, even though they readily will acknowledge in private that violates the spirit of the law. What about that argument that says, well, as long as we didn't say vote yes or vote no, which, by the way, Page's thing that went out flat out called for opposition to this, so he wasn't even in the gray area. But that's the argument they make, is as long as we don't say these couple of magic words, we can say whatever we want.
Well, right. That is exactly their argument. You summed it up perfectly. And this indictment will, I think, answer that question. I mean, if the county executive is acquitted, and if a jury thinks that these actions were neutral to some respect and it's not a crime, then that city manager argument will be verified, will be made correct. If he's convicted, obviously, whether of the misdemeanors or the felonies, even just the misdemeanors, though, then you'll see those city managers and those school district superintendents stepping back around the state. And I think the indictment alone will cause people to step back and reconsider what they're doing. But we'll have an answer to your question here in the coming months with the outcome of this case, and whether he should or should not be convicted is a question for juries and judges, not Dave Stokes. But it's definitely a fascinating case, and fascinating that this has risen to this level, and interesting that this has happened so many times. And is this one example perhaps slightly worse than many of the others I've seen over my time following local government? It may be. I mean, the way going around it to avoid the bidding process, apparently striking at the last minute some of the suggestions from the county counselor's office to make it a little less biased. I mean, those are interesting facts.
Yep.
The jury's going to decide.
And I hope that this will encourage more people to do what Tom Sullivan's done and file those complaints when we see this, because I hear from a lot of people who are annoyed by it, but they just think that's just the way it is. And if nothing else, this may encourage more people to be watchdogs themselves and try to hold local governments at all levels accountable on this. So that might be a positive that's coming out of this, Dave.
Absolutely. I mean, Tom Sullivan is priceless. He is worth so much to the people of our region, and certainly he's not popular with a lot of local officials, and it's been that way for a long. I personally witnessed decades ago. I'm going back at least 2 decades, probably more actually. I witnessed Buzz Westfall, former county executive, just berate him at a county council meeting and personally attack him. He was so angry with Tom one time, and that was not what Buzz was usually like. Buzz was cool as a cucumber in the vast majority of times, but he just got so mad at Tom Sullivan one time about, and this was about the sewer company MSD. But Tom's been doing amazing work for decades and decades, and this could be not about Sam Page personally, but about finally cutting back, limiting, or stopping, even better, this practice at local government would be a real achievement for Tom.
I feel validated right now. I'm just saying. All right. Dave Stokes of the Show Me Institute. We've already tagged you on social media. Give out that website one more time, if you would.
ShowMeInstitute.org, and questions of Freedom of Information Act issues and government transparency have always been an important part of Show Me Institute's work. My former colleague Patrick Ishmael used to write about it all the time. We got a lot of the website about it, and thanks for the opportunity to talk about it today, Mike.
We'll talk to you again soon, man.
See you guys. Always great being on the show with you.
Thank you, sir.
314-912-1019. Got the basic details of the case against Sam Page. We're going to hear from former councilman and former police chief Tim Fitch about the criminal element of this as well. That's going to happen at 7:35.
It doesn't matter anyway. You will never understand it because it happens too fast. And it feels so good, it's like walking the glass. It's so cool, it's so hip, it's alright. It's so good.
This is 101.9 and 94.1.
I have to tell you, if this is how they're going to behave, I'm rethinking my position.
News Talk STL.
Is your backyard a battleground every evening? Swatting, itching, kids running back inside? Hey, Tim Jones here. I just found out about a new local company, Mosquito Nix, that can take care of all that and more. They offer permanent automatic mosquito and tick protection, not just fogging, real coverage you don't have to think about. They've helped over 40,000 families nationwide take back their yards with their automatic mosquito control system. Now they're offering a free fogging treatment to introduce themselves to St. Louis families. Call 636-698-1980 now, or visit mosquitonix.com. Say goodbye to bug bites this summer. Service area restrictions do apply. Tell them Tim Jones sent you. Ask about their back-to-school special. St. Louis summers don't last forever, but mosquito bites shouldn't either. Call 636-698-1980. Visit mosquitonix.com. That's mosquitonix.com. This is a limited time offer.
This is Mark Harder with RE/MAX Results, the #1 RE/MAX franchise in the region. As a licensed real estate broker with RE/MAX Results for over 20 years, I've seen the ups and downs of many real estate markets, including the one we're in right now. With the spring market in full swing, now is the time to leap into the buying or selling of your home. Someday is not a day. Today is the day to make your move. Call me at 314-852-8933 or email me at markhardersells@gmail.com.
You and I might have something in common, back pain. I can tell you where I go for help, Esquire Sports Medicine, the spine of St. Louis. They can put athletes back on the field so they can clearly help us. Esquire Sports Medicine, hands-on chiropractic help on Big Bend, just north of Highway 40, 314-644-0885, EsquireSportsMedicine.com, EsquireSportsMedicine.com.
This hour of Mike Ferguson in the Morning is brought to you by Stifel. Request a portfolio review from your Stifel financial advisor at Stifel.com. That's STIFEL.com.
All right, the big story. The top politician in St. Louis is headed for a date in court after a grand jury indicts him, including a felony charge on this. All right. Also, it's not a hoax that duped stupid Republicans anymore, I guess.
Yeah.
There's evidence, but we've closed the investigation, but we're not going to leave any stone unturned.
Also, stop talking about it.
And stop talking about it. The White House changes its tune on the Epstein case again. And a couple of Cardinals pitchers are not Cardinals pitchers anymore. Changes are happening to the roster of St. Louis Cardinals, and I don't think we're done with that. 6:51 right now. Let's dump some news on you here.
The Morning News Dump.
Are you joking? Is this a joke?
Listen, folks, the Morning News Dump.
All right, Indicted. That's the news that came down yesterday. St. Louis County Executive Sam Page now faces 4 counts from a grand jury. He's accused of violating election law by a political subdivision or officer, and he also faces 1 count of stealing $25,000 or more and another count of stealing $750 or more. The indictment is related to Page's use of taxpayer funds to produce and send mailers to voters in opposition to Proposition B, which was voted down in April. A lot of different elements to this. There are people, Gabe, who are saying, well, it's just, it's tens of thousands of dollars, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not that big of a deal. Why are you making it's all political? It's really not all political.
Right. Yeah. This isn't just a get Sam Page campaign.
Right.
Now, granted, we need to get Sam Page because of what he's done to us, because of the way he's flouted the rules on so many occasions, because of the fact that he probably is still flouting rules that we voted to strengthen recently. But for the purposes of this discussion, we're talking about felonies that he committed. I mean, it's tough to argue that he didn't steal the money to do this.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll have more details on that with Tim Fitch around 7:35. Other news here. A White House communications official says the Department of Justice is leaving no stone unturned in its investigation into the Epstein files.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
Special Assistant to the President, Harrison Fields, says the president may have more to say about the Epstein case once the investigation wraps up.
We've got some good cops in the Department of Justice and the FBI looking at the facts as they have them.
As for critics or even Trump supporters worried he may be slow-walking the process to protect his own administration, Fields says it's simply not the case.
The one thing the president's going to do is stand for transparency. There's truly nothing to hide.
Harrison Fields was interviewed by the Salem Radio Network. Bob Agnew reporting.
Okay, first of all, then release all the files.
Yeah.
Secondly, but the DOJ said the case is closed and there's nothing there. And the president said it's a hoax and stop talking about it and it's a distraction and you got duped, you stupid Republicans. His words.
Yeah, it's hard to make the case that there's, they've got nothing to hide when it seems as though they were hiding things.
Yeah.
I also want to just for the record point out that they finally released the unedited version of the cell footage, which had 2 minutes and 58 seconds missing. And it does show some sort of activity going on near the cell. So are they going to address that hopefully, or I don't know.
The short answer is I have no idea based on the track record, and not even just of this administration, of the previous, couple of administrations too. So this is an ongoing, let's just call it what it is, a cover-up that's still happening right now. All right. The Federal Open Markets Committee, which is a term you probably don't hear very much, but they voted to keep interest rates steady for a fifth time on Wednesday. Now, that is despite calls from President Trump and members of his administration who want them to lower interest rates. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell, tells reporters that the central bank will continue keeping rates higher than the president wants for longer amid uncertainty due to the president's tariffs.
It seems to me and to almost the whole committee that the economy is not performing as though restrictive policy is holding it back inappropriately, and modestly restrictive policy seems appropriate.
Okay, so what do all those wonky words mean? We're going to find out from Ryan Young at 7:05 to talk about this. 2 members of the Fed's Board of Governors voted to reduce rates. 9 others, including Powell, voted in favor of keeping the rates the same. And this decision comes as the second quarter GDP grew by about 3%, which was better than expected.
Yeah.
They expected some growth, but this was more growth than was actually expected. All right, this is interesting here. President Trump goes on an insult-filled rant against Senator Josh Hawley on Wednesday.
Yeah, one of his top supporters, really.
So bizarre. Yeah, I mean, Hawley's been one of Trump's most vocal supporters for years, appears to still be a vocal supporter of the president, but the president is upset with the senator's support of a vote that bans stock trading by members of Congress and by vice presidents and by presidents, but it exempts the current administration. It would not go into effect. It would not affect any president or vice president until after the next election. The bill passed in committee 8-7, all Democrats voting for it, along with Josh Hawley, Republicans voting against it. And if you haven't seen the rant on social media, it's a sight to behold. That's for sure. It's really bizarre.
I'm curious as to what's the actual contents of the bill, because obviously when Democrats go one way, it raises a lot of red flags in people's minds. Trump's going to do his Trump thing, and I'm almost tired of commenting on it. I'm tired of commenting.
Yeah,
on it,
I mean,
really.
even if there's even if the bill needs to be better or it's not. That's one aspect of it. The other part
it
of
didn't
this
warrant this.
is, you don't napalm your friends.
Yeah.
When you disagree with them.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
At some point, dude, you're going to be a lame duck. You're going to need them more than they need you. That's just how the real world works. So, maybe be a little more forward thinking on things like that. All right, the Cardinals lose the final game of the series to the Marlins last night at Busch Stadium. Final score 2-0. That means they lose the series 2-1. No game today. The Cardinals start a road series with the Padres on Friday. And at this point here, the Redbirds are now making roster changes. Pitcher Ryan Helsley has been traded to the Mets in exchange for 3 prospects, including 2 pitchers. Pitcher Steven Matz has been dealt to the Red Sox. In exchange, the Cardinals now acquire the services of infielder Blaze Jordan. Superhero in comic books, Blaze Jordan.
Wrestler.
It's a pretty cool name.
That's a wrestler
That's
name.
a wrestler name, yeah.
News Talk STL is proud to have Doug Voss of Safe Bunny Radio as part of our lineup each week. Doug has been a staple on the St. Louis radio airways for many years as one of the leading financial experts in the area. You can now hear Doug and Safe Bunny Radio every weekend on News Talk STL. But in case you miss anything, you can check it all out at DougVossSafeBunnyRadio.com. What else do our listeners need to know, Doug?
Simply put, I focus on helping pre-retirees and retirees build, preserve, and protect retirement assets, and I've been helping my clients solve their insurance and financial needs for the past 33 years. I also strive to educate my clients on how to prepare for retirement, minimize the impact of market volatility on their assets, and deal with the challenges of increased longevity. Call me today at 844-676-SAFE. That's 844-676-7233.
Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through DHL Securities, LLLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
Are the days of a personal doctor gone? Not at Body of Health Direct Primary Care. I'm Dr. Randy Tobler to share how our design is putting the care back into healthcare. Plain and simple, our members, not insurance companies, get our exclusive focus. That means same or next day appointments, responsive answers to your concerns, and a no-spin, big tool chest approach. It's about time you get serious time devoted to your medical needs. To learn about healthcare the way it ought to be, schedule a discovery call today at bodyofhealth.com. That's bodyofhealth.com.
It's that time of season when families, businesses are moving. For local or long distance, I endorse McGuire Moving. Get a date set soon before the schedules are booked. 314-241-0600. 241-0600. McGuire is constantly giving back to our veterans, such as support dogs for our brave. So with McGuire, you're getting excellent service and helping our vets. McGuireMoving.com.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Belfast, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at NewsTalkSTL.com.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. A 28-year-old man is accused of killing a husband and wife as the couple's two young children watched. It happened in Devil's Den State Park, Arkansas, as the family was out for a hike.
Nothing like that should ever take place.
Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
And for a family to have to go through and deal with that level of tragedy is something that no one should ever experience, and something that we never want to take place in our state.
Audio courtesy KHBS, KHOG. The suspect, James Andrew McGann, jailed on 2 counts of capital murder. The victims, Quentin David Brink and Kristen Amanda Brink. Their daughters, ages 7 and 9, were not injured. They're now being cared for by relatives. Kamala Harris not going to run for California governor, fueling speculation of a possible second presidential bid in her future.
The former vice president said she spent time reflecting over the past 6 months since losing in November after she took over the Democratic ticket when former President Biden dropped out of the race. Ms. Harris was considering all of her options before making her decision official, while she has made it clear that she is not done with public service. She said on Wednesday she will get more active in helping Democrats this election cycle. Former Los Angeles Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa and former California Attorney General Javier Becerra are running so far to replace Democrat Governor Gavin Newsom, who is term limited. Bernie Bennett reporting.
There were injuries on a Delta flight from Salt Lake City to Amsterdam, flew into severe turbulence, had to make an emergency landing at Minneapolis-St. Paul. 25 passengers taken to hospitals for evaluation and treatment. One passenger says those who were not belted in were tossed about the cabin. Watching Wall Street, Dow futures are up 100 points. NASDAQ futures ahead 287. More on these stories at townhall.com.
If you're living with pain, see how Relief Factor can help.
I'm an artist and I'm in my studio. I listen to the radio all day and I'm hearing the ads about Relief Factor. And I've got pain in my neck and it's getting worse. And I'm thinking, well, I'm going to go ahead and order this. 2 weeks later, I've got much better range of motion. If you're experiencing pain at a certain point in life, I would get Relief Factor.
Fight pain naturally with Relief Factor. Go to relieffactor.com and get your 3-week quick start today. Only $19.95.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time. The next time you're out to dinner with friends, you can order the shrimp cocktail for the table. And maybe you'll realize it only comes with 4 shrimp after you've already given away 3. But that one shrimp will be so good. And if you switch and save hundreds, you could get shrimp all the time. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For shrimp. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates not available.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
The heat wave is over, and the weekend forecast looks amazing. But first, today, some stubborn cloud cover, slight chance of a shower. Much cooler, though, with a high this afternoon of only 79. Humidity noticeable, but not terrible. That humidity tumbles quickly tonight into Friday, and then mostly sunny tomorrow with that low humidity. 81 for the high. We're going to ride that wave of sunshine, low humidity, and comfy temps all the way through the weekend. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
This hour of News Talk STL is brought to you by Rodney and Jen Wallner and the entire Wallner home selling team at Berkshire Hathaway. Call them today at 314-810-SOLD. 314-810-SOLD.
Hey, it's Susie Moore. If new flooring makes you think hassle, think again, because Michael's Flooring is changing the game. For over 30 years, Michaels has been locally owned and trusted for quality, variety, and amazing service. Whether it's carpet, hardwood, laminate, luxury vinyl, or ceramic tile, their expert team makes installing new floors exciting, not stressful. That's why customers keep coming back. Visit Michaels Flooring at St. Peter's, Starting Prairie, Creve Coeur, or online at igotfloored.com. That's igotfloored.com.
I'm Dr. TJ, owner of the Institute of Natural Health, co-owner of Optimal Nutraceuticals, and the host of Wellness One. Wellness One is designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you common sense, science-based information regarding health and wellness. On the show, we discuss topics like thyroid health, gut health, hormone optimization, and many others. Our show airs Saturdays at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. right here on NewsTalkSTL. And you can visit us at inhstl.com. That's inhstl.com.
Mike Ferguson,
You play ball like a girl!
Gabe Phifer,
I triple saw stereo!
Get up! Can't you hear the alarm?
Get up, St. Louis.
So it's time to get out of bed. Pour yourself the greatest cup of Kofifi the world has ever seen. Rise up with one voice, drain the swamp, and take back our country. Today's the day we're going to do it, and it's time to do it right now, believe me.
Mike Ferguson in the morning on News Talk STL.
Get up! This is your cousin.
All right, arrows going up are good.
Yeah, right?
Right. So what's the big picture when it comes to our economy, and more importantly, how is it going to affect you and your family's money? Because we got a lot of moving parts right now.
Mm-hmm.
It is 7:05 right now. We're joined by Ryan Young from the Competitive Enterprise Institute. Ryan, great to chat with you again. Appreciate you being on here. Okay, so let's talk about some of the reports that come out, and a lot of this stuff is wonky and it's a bunch of numbers. And the big question is, what does it mean? I mean, the latest quarter of the gross domestic product, the GDP, showed more growth than expected.
Mm-hmm.
That's obviously a good thing. What are some of the takeaways that we look at? Because we always want to see some good news in the economy.
Yeah, it's not quite as good under the surface, but it's still better than I was expecting, and I will take it. Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
In the first quarter, the economy didn't grow at all. It actually shrank by 0.5 percentage point, and that's something that only happens every several years. That's recession stuff. So to go back to 3% growth, I think the main lesson from that is that that's what happens when you go from a quarter of policy chaos to things settling down at least a little bit. From negative growth to 3%. For context, normal is about 2%. That averages out to 1.2%. Again, that's tepid stuff, slow, but at least it's growth. So I think there's medium to the good news there.
Morning, Ryan. Gabe here. So now you mentioned wondering about or mentioning the underlying indicators, I guess, are not as great, I guess, as that GDP number would indicate. So what are you seeing that maybe the rest of us aren't?
There's not a lot of investment going on, and a big one is that imports are down 30%.
Oh.
That's almost a third. For that to happen in one quarter I don't think that's happened since the Great Depression. And to some extent, that's the point of the tariffs and a lot of the administration's trade policy. But for businesses, that is not good news at all. We have American car companies paying $500 for steel to make one car. That's going to be passed along to you, the car buyer, as part of your sticker price. They're paying 25% tariffs for any Canadian or Mexican-made parts. For your average Ford or GM car, that can be half the car or more. And you compare that kind of tariff burden to the deals that are being announced now with Japan, Europe, and now South Korea overnight. They're going to be paying 15% tariffs compared to 25 and 50 for car parts for American cars. And you can see why the U.S. auto industry is upset. And you can also see why GM, Ford, and Stellantis, the former Chrysler, have all announced that they've been taking billion-dollar losses. In some case, in GM's case, their profits, they're still profitable, but the profit is $1 billion less. because of those extra costs and because of the dent in their sales. And the other car companies might be actually losing money because of the tariffs. So there's trouble underneath the surface.
Now, supporters of the tariff policy would argue that, well, shouldn't there be a positive news coming out of American production? You know, are there any positive indicators to say, well, the American production is starting to ramp up to fill the gap?
It is not. Manufacturing has been declining for 4 months in a row. It set the all-time record back in December of 2019, which was right around the time in Trump's first term when he ramped up the China tariffs. The reason that's hurting manufacturing is because about 60%, a slight majority of what we import, it's not cheap plastic stuff like you find on the shelves at Walmart or Dollar General. It's inputs that American businesses use. It's machinery, it's components, it's raw materials that American businesses use to make American products in America with American workers. That's 60% of our imports. And now that that's down a third, you can imagine what that's doing to the manufacturing sector. They're paying more and getting less. And as a result, not only are we going to see lower supply, higher prices, but we're going to see people getting their hours and their benefits cut. You might see some employment reduction. The labor market's held up so far. We're hoping that continues, but some people are concerned about that. So I guess when you look at the last 2 quarters together and you have 1.2% growth, which is pretty tepid stuff compared to the 2% average, it's definitely a mixed picture. The economy is adapting as best it can, but it's difficult.
We're visiting with Ryan Young from the Competitive Enterprise Institute. So when I see these debates and you see a lot of, whether it's, Secretary Bessent or some of the others, and a lot of people who are, pundits are saying, you know what, the president's been right all along. He understands the economy better than everybody else. The United States is the hottest place in the world for manufacturing. It's going to take a while for these plants to be built. And those of us who are free traders, and I'm one of them, who don't like the tariffs, we're just not willing to put America first. And that's the catchphrases that were out there. The argument is, no, this is working as planned. You said it yourself, that's kind of the point, that the imports go down. And they're saying that's a victory in and of itself. And this is just part of that pain that the president said we were going to have to go to in order to transition the economy to something that is basically originating out of here. Is there any validity to that? And if not, what's being missed in that equation?
I think there's a lot being missed in that. Take the concern over manufacturing jobs. There are about 13 million people in manufacturing jobs in the country. That's less than 10% of the workforce. It used to be a lot higher than that. In 1979, almost 20 million people worked in manufacturing jobs with a much smaller population. So we're talking about almost a half reduction. What's going on there? Why are we losing so many jobs? Well, if you look at the entire world, planet Earth is losing manufacturing jobs and has been for years. China is losing manufacturing jobs and has been for years. What's going on is productivity, automation. Workers are doing more with less, and they're cranking out more and more output. Like I just said a minute ago, America's all-time record for manufacturing output. How much stuff are American factories cranking out? That wasn't in the 1950s or the 1970s. It happened in 2018, right before the first round of tariffs came on. So what's happening is that there is a natural process of manufacturing jobs going away because of better technology. And it's not like we're making less stuff, we're making more stuff. And we're freeing up people's time and talents so that they don't have to work on factory floors. I mean, you can go into the Rust Belt in Youngstown, Ohio, go through a room of people and ask for a show of hands. How many of you want your kids and your grandkids to do what you do, to work on a factory floor for your entire career? You're not going to get a lot of people raising their hands. And yet that's exactly what a lot of the nostalgia-based policy that we're seeing on tariffs is trying to do. Trying to get people's kids and grandkids to work on factory floors. That's not, if people think it through, that's maybe not the wisest course.
Okay, just got a minute or so left, Ryan, and the president's got new deadlines for trade deals coming up where he's going to impose more tariffs. You just mentioned some more tariffs that he announced. What are the things that we need to be watching for And is there that argument that, well, these are just leverages for better trade deals to open up markets? And that's one of the arguments I've heard.
I think from the other countries' perspective, especially Europe, they might be playing a stalling tactic here. Odds are the Supreme Court in a few months is going to rule against the president's emergency-based tariffs, which is the big Liberation Day tariffs and all the deals that he's announcing right now. So we'll see a tranche of deals announced. We even saw some more last night. China is due on August 12th. That may well come through. But those will likely be temporary, and then the administration is going to have to adapt to other strategies. So more uncertainty is ahead, I'm sad to say.
Okay, do we know that, as we get into the school year, get into the fall, get into holiday shopping season, things like that, is stuff going to be more or less expensive?
More expensive. So if your family can afford it, and I know not everyone's can, get what you can now before the tariffs go up further. And, companies are doing the best they can to not pass along prices, but when grocery stores operate on a 2% margin, there's only so much they can do.
All right, Ryan, we've once again tagged you on social media. They want to follow your work. I know you've got the blog, you've got the article about this. Where do we find that?
CEI.org is the best place for my work and my colleagues' work.
All right, we'll talk to you again soon, Ryan. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, guys.
All right, 314-912-1019, 735. We are going to get back into the Sam Page indictment. Former police chief, former county councilman Tim Fitch is going to be with us, giving us that perspective. And just ahead here, we're going to get into, there's possibly an update on the entire Epstein case. How much immunity should Ghislaine Maxwell be given? Because apparently that's what she's negotiating for.
Also, you've heard the news by now. Sam Page has been indicted. We're on it, and we'll update you on that situation at 7:35.
Inspiration, you have a soul so dark, it is no more. And all at once depart, no destination.
Columbo and Company.
We'll bring you the latest info and fallout from the Sam Page indictment on Thursday when we talk to Mo Rep Justin Sparks at 2:20, plus Dr. Randy Tobler at 3:05.
Live and local weekdays at 2 on News Talk STL.
Okay, it happened again this weekend. One of the ball teams I play with, I'm just kind of the reserve guy, much younger team, and they needed somebody to come fill in. And I'm walking to the park, saw a couple teammates I haven't talked to in a while, and the first words out of their mouth, "Who's the skinny guy?" Yeah, they were giving me a little bit of trouble, but at the same time, kind of a pat on the back for how much I've gotten leaner over the past several months, because they hadn't seen me in quite a while. And I get that same question, Mike, what are you doing? What are you doing? Well, I'm getting my real food, my nutritious food, my nutrient-dense food at Nutrition Stop. NutritionStop.com is kind of the one-stop spot for you online for this, but go and check them out. 4101 Mexico Road in St. Peters, basically right off of Cave Springs Road and Mexico Road, so essentially right off of I-70. I'm there every week, and this is where I get the bulk of my food. Is it breaking my bank or changing my budget? No, it's not. But what it is changing is what I'm putting into my body. I'm getting rid of those foods that have all those dyes and processed stuff and all the things that's in the news right now. Well, Nutrition Stop for over 20 years has been offering that right here in the St. Louis metro area. Today for lunch, I'm having my, I think I've got my ground bison. I've got very lean, very healthy. My vegetables, it's delicious. And whether you need supplements, because not everything is going to have everything you need. So I get my vitamins there. I get my probiotics there. They have got something to fit everybody. Here's the thing. Don't worry about making America healthy again. Start with making your family healthy or healthy again. And you're going to get that at Nutrition Stop. But maybe the most valuable thing they offer there, it's not just the farm to your table groceries directly from the farmers. It's not just the foods that are free of all the crap. It's not just the top quality supplements. It's not just all that. It's the knowledge that they have. You don't know where to start? That's okay. You go in, ask them questions. They live for this. They absolutely want to help you move from wherever you are to the next level of your health journey. Maybe that means toothpaste without the fluoride. Maybe it means deodorant without all of the aluminum and all the metals and all that sort of thing. They have healthy things for your home, your body, cleaning stuff without all the toxic chemicals, you name it. They've got it. So check them out. Go visit 4101 Mexico Road, or just put Nutrition Stop into your GPS. It'll take you right there. Tell them that Mike recommended you come in, and I recommend you challenge them with whatever questions you have, because whether it's Ryan or whether it's Laura, whether it's Jody, whether it's Mika, whether it's Zach, doesn't matter who it is, they are there to help, and they help me every week because I always have questions. And what's happened with me? I've lost a bunch of inches, I've lost a bunch of pounds, and I've got more muscle than I've had in a long time, and I am 53 years old. It happens for me. It can happen for you. Go to Nutrition Stop, and you make it happen.
Columbo here for my friends at Bluff City Outdoors in Alton. The knowledgeable staff at Bluff City has served the St. Louis outdoor community for decades, and they can take care of all your bow hunting needs, all your trapping needs, all your fishing needs, and more. Plus, while you're there, you can schedule a trip with a local fishing guide and shoot in their archery range. Bluff City Outdoors is open 7 days a week, 1 mile east of Fast Eddie's at 2813 East Broadway in Alton. Follow them on Facebook and at bluffcityoutdoors.com.
Mike Ferguson here. Retirement should be a time you can relax. No more stress from work. But there's one thing you can't forget about when retiring. That's your money. Do you have enough saved to fund your income for life and keep up with inflation? How will you claim your Social Security benefits? And what about long-term care? The ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel is here to help answer all of these questions. You can hear their latest views on the markets and investing during On the Money, hosted by Stifel financial advisors Bob Stockdale and Eric Robert, every Saturday morning at 9, right here on News Talk STL. They can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com. Or call 636-695-2650, 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
I really like all the things you're saying.
News, analysis, opinion.
Thank you very, very much.
News Talk STL.
Good morning, St. Louis. Hey, it's Vince from The Vince Show right here on News Talk STL every weeknight at 8. Right now, it's back to Mike Ferguson on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
All right. What do you think? Is Sam Page's political career over, or is he going to find a way to weasel out of this one too? I've got that question up. I put that up early this morning on the Rumble chat box. Let's check the Facebook comments here before we get into the next segment on that, because I want to get into this at 7:35. So give us your hot takes on that right now, though. Send us a message on social media, or you can actually send the voice memo through the News Talk STL app.
Yeah.
Just find that on the Wheel of Fun?
Wheel of Fun, and then you hit the little icon there, and you can do all kinds of
That's
cool
right.
stuff.
Send that in. All right. Should Jeffrey Epstein's girlfriend and procurement specialist of trafficking victims, Ghislaine Maxwell, should she get a deal for spilling the beans on the case here? Now, that's apparently what's happening on this. Eric Burleson, Congressman Eric Burleson, was on CNN yesterday. He was being interviewed by Wolf Blitzer about the negotiations that are happening, because Eric Burleson's on the committee that's eventually going to question her. And here's what Congressman Burleson had to say. Here's starting over the question from Wolf Blitzer.
Where do you stand, Congressman, on Ghislaine Maxwell's offer to testify before your committee in Congress, but with very specific conditions, including immunity and getting advance word on the questions you want to ask?
Yeah, I think that I'm fine with giving her some advanced word on the questions. I'm also fine with giving her some form of immunity. In speaking with a friend of mine who is a former U.S. prosecutor, he advised that when he was in this situation, that he would provide immunity on the things that the witness was going to testify, to provide immunity against themselves, that individual, for further prosecution, so long as, and he would put a clause in that it's proven that what they said is true.
Okay, so we're not talking about a pardon in
Right.
this.
Right.
In this case, we're talking about she's already in prison, sentenced to 20 years?
Yeah.
And so what they're talking about immunity is, okay, if she, in the course of answering the questions, admits to more participating in more crimes,
right?
That she won't be prosecuted for the new stuff.
Yeah.
And so that's what they're talking about. Thoughts on that, guys?
I guess I'm okay with that because she's gonna get out at the age of like 75. I think that's the earliest
something like that
she can get out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, keeping her in there for an extra 10, 15, or 20 doesn't make that big of a deal to me. Rather, as opposed to if we could get these other guys and get them in for 10, 15, 20, hopefully life, put them in a shredder.
Yeah, that's what was confusing me about that statement is that I was under the impression you could not be charged for the same crime more than once.
That's correct. It's called double jeopardy. That's correct. Yeah.
So at the same time, I can imagine, like with what we see. So I'm a true crime kind of buff. So when it comes to like killers, if they admit to having multiple victims, sometimes they'll slap them with more because it's different.
Right, because
victims.
each one's a different case.
But I would have imagined because it's a trafficking as in multiple victims sort of thing, they wouldn't be. Either way, if they give her immunity from being charged more, but that gets us closer to actually revealing the people that were involved in this, then yeah, just like Gabe said, I agree entirely.
I mean, let's put it this way. I mean, I don't know how many victims were involved in the case in which she was convicted and is serving the 20-year sentence.
1,000.
Yeah,
over 1,000.
Okay, so numbers 1 through 1,000, let's say that's what she was convicted of trafficking, and that's what she's serving time for. What this would be is if there's victim 1,001 through 2,000, that she would have the freedom to talk about anything on that, but she would not face another trial or conviction or charges from victims 1,001 through 2,000, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because trafficking isn't the same as like drug dealing where it's just like a blanket idea.
Right.
Trafficking is connected to a specific victim. So, if you trafficked one person, that's one case.
Right.
Two people, that's two cases.
Right, exactly. So in this case here, and we've had Congressman Burleson on this show. I've known Eric a long time. And I agree with him on, I have no problem with letting them know in advance, okay, here's who and what we're going to ask about. Now, I would not agree to limit your questions to that.
Right.
Be ready to do follow-ups on anything. But I mean, I would not hesitate to say, okay, we're going to ask about these things.
Yes, sure.
If nothing else, if she's motivated somehow to start listing names and giving specifics, let her refresh her memory. Let the lawyer know where the documents are.
Give her a I guess a Sharpie and paper. You don't want to have a pen because then she'd stick it.
Yeah, she could definitely not Epstein herself.
Right. Right. So yeah, and the other part of that is, if it comes to it, I mean, offer her like a once a month DoorDash so she gets some outside food. Right. I'm saying like the lightest possible positives, I think, should be on the table for the deal.
Yeah, and our stream chatters seem to be in agreement as well. The only way she should be given any sort of privileges or immunities is if what she provides ends up resulting in actual convictions of the other people involved.
There you go.
Despite what the DOJ and the FBI's official statement was, in the court hearings and the official posted conviction charges, they know that there are known conspirators. And it wasn't just the other victims that were abused into recruiting more victims. There are people that they know are involved in this. And to Maxwell's, I don't want to say credit, that feels wrong, but she was answering questions about 100 different people that were involved in this. So yeah, I don't know in terms of what the narrative we're supposed to be following is, where we're at with that. But I do think if it does result in more people going to jail, more people being taken off the streets and not able to potentially continue what they were doing, then yeah, we can put maybe
are doing now.
Yeah, we can give her some hot pockets or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Well, and that thing is, I actually cut that soundbite a little short because Eric Burleson went on to reiterate the condition is that what you say we have to be able to document is true.
Right. You have to verify
did not lie or mislead or omit anything.
Right.
And then in exchange for that, then they're talking about basically immunity, as in, okay, you admit, all right, I got this kid for this high level whatever, and she won't face charges for that.
Right.
Yeah, the admitting part is what really concerns me as well, because again, just a few days ago, well, it's hard to keep track. So about a week ago, the narrative was that the entire quote unquote list was a Democrat hoax.
Yeah, it didn't exist.
It didn't exist, and then it was a hoax that crooked Hillary and former President Obama put together to make them look bad. So my fear is she answered 100 questions about 100 people, but those all could have been, nope, not involved, even if they were people involved. And that's what I'm really concerned about now.
And that's where Congressman Burleson was really doubling down. You know, we have to be able to show that it's true, because I really do think that there are more people on the right now who are I think are standing up and kind of getting strength to go, no, we're going to think for ourselves on this one.
Yeah. Now,
and matter of fact, Joe Rogan says this is a line in the sand with him, and that's actually a bigger deal especially with younger voters.
Absolutely. Now, it needs to be said that, look, these trafficking types of organizations, they operate. There's a reason why they call them rings, right? Because they operate. There are multiple cells. They're all interconnected. Multiple individuals, multiple countries and locations and things like that. And what it appears to be, and this is why I think we're all up in arms about it, is that they got this one guy in this one cell of a much larger ring, and they're not curious about the rest of the ring, even though everybody knows that's how those things work.
And we're being told something's wrong with you for demanding justice.
Right. Yeah.
And we've been told that by the left, and now we're being told that by some on the right. And we're not taking that. We're not accepting that anymore. And we're saying, no, we know something's there. And we're not going to let go until you show us what is there.
Now, here's hoping we can get, justice with the Sam Page case, right? So we're going to be talking about that at 7:35. But as we're leading into that, don't forget the 80s bump music. I think last call for 80s bump music. That's tomorrow.
Yeah. Also, speaking of lies, leftists want us to believe their lies without question.
I don't question them.
I know they're lying.
Larry Connors. Larry Connors will go more in depth during Larry Connors commentary coming up.
Mike Ferguson in the morning.
The people know the truth.
On NewsTalkSTL. From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
The heat wave is over, and the weekend forecast looks amazing. But first, today, some stubborn cloud cover, slight chance of a shower. Much cooler, though, with a high this afternoon of only 79. Humidity noticeable, but not terrible. That humidity tumbles quickly tonight into Friday, and then mostly sunny tomorrow with that low humidity. 81 for the high. We're going to ride that wave of sunshine, low humidity, and comfy temps all the way through the weekend. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matt Chase.
John Beal knows it right after a hailstorm. New roofing companies start popping up everywhere. But the Small Business Administration reports 96% of them go out of business within the first 5 years. So how good is that warranty? John Beal started in the roofing business, helping his granddad and his dad. Always offering the best roof, best price, best guarantee. John Beal Roofing, not some fly-by-the-night operation. Call my friend John, 1-800-NEW-ROOF, 1-800-NEW-ROOF.
Larry Connors commentary, brought to you by Vincent's Jewelers, offering a wide selection of jewelry, including lab-grown diamonds, affordable earrings, bracelets, necklaces, and rings, up to 75% off their natural counterparts. Visit VincentsJewelers.com. This is Larry Connors commentary on NewsTalkSTL.
The left knows how to take a lie and repeatedly beat conservatives with it. The left knows it's a lie, but they also know others will accept it, and it's very hard to fight back against some lies. One big leftist is now learning that lesson the hard way. Oprah Winfrey owns a 1,000-acre estate on the Hawaiian island of Maui. A public road runs through part of her property, but it is gated and guarded. No one can use it without permission. So the tsunami warnings issued for Hawaii, many of those lower-lying areas needed to get to higher ground. The fastest way, use her road. One guy went viral supposedly at the gate shouting at a guard who would not let anyone get to safety. Did Winfrey deny an escape route, or was that a fake? She denounces it. I don't know which story is correct, but she's now learning how hard it is to defend yourself even if you did nothing wrong. It reminds me of a story I teach young journalists. You take a bag of 100 feathers. Each is a lie. You throw it up in the air. You come back tomorrow and try to find all 100. You might find 99, but you won't find all of them, which means one lie is still circulating.
Get more Larry Connors on Larry Connors USA.
Tonight at 6 on NewsTalkSTL.
For over 50 years, Di Gregorio's Italian Market has been serving up a taste of Italy right here in St. Louis. Family owned and operated, nestled in the heart of the hill. From homemade sausage and meatballs to spadini, pizzas, pastas, and sauces, our wide variety of Italian specialties will transport your taste buds straight to Rome. For a truly authentic Italian shopping experience, visit your friends at Di Gregorio's. Shop local, shop Di Gregorio's Italian Market, where every bite tells a story.
The Vic Porcelli Show.
This is the actual precedent set why Bernie Sanders cannot have a 32-hour work week.
The Department of Labor wishes to report that the workers of Fredonia are demanding shorter hours. Very well, we'll give them shorter hours. We'll start by cutting their lunch hour to 20 minutes. Where's Fredonia?
Oh, it's right.
Oh, here we go.
It's on the southern part of Gooberstam. Yeah. And of course, Rufus T. Firefly was the leader of Fredonia.
Vic Porcelli, weekday mornings at 9 on News Talk STL.
Patriot Radio.
Hey guys, I don't know about you, but I love learning about national and international issues here on News Talk STL. But do you know what's going on in your neck of the woods, your city, your county, and its politics? If you live in Jefferson County and want to know more about what's happening locally, join Speaker Tim Jones and me, Councilman Billy Crow, as we dive into all things Jefferson County on Sundays at high noon on Jeffco Patriot Radio.
Jeffco Patriot Radio.
On News Talk STL. The news and talk.
The Supreme Court must put an end to this.
That matters to St. Louis. Senior Advisor Stephen Miller called the tariff strike down a judicial coup.
Certainly the president is acting within his authority.
This is 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
Hey, this is Larry Connors. Make sure you're listening later today at 6 o'clock on News Talk STL for my show, Larry Connors USA. Now, back to Mike Ferguson in the morning.
All right, accountability might actually happen. St. Louis County Executive Sam Page is indicted by a grand jury. So we've got the political side of this, but we also have a criminal side of this. And then we have what I would maybe argue is the bigger picture of trust and the foundation of good government, which frankly, St. Louis County has been struggling with. This is now a pattern. 2 county executives in a row facing criminal charges. It is 7:36. I'm Mike Ferguson. Got Gabe Phifer here. Got producer Jerome here. Now joined by former St. Louis County Councilman and former St. Louis County Police Chief Tim Fitch. And Tim, appreciate you being on the program here. I mean, this has got to hit you in a different way as other people. We get the news, Sam Page is indicted. The fact that he violated the law, in Section 115, I don't think is really even that debatable. I mean, they're going to try to argue the gray area, which we'll get to in a minute. But you've been one of the targets of him trying to abuse his office personally. And he really didn't have any accountability for that and some other things. Is it possible we're actually going to see accountability for Sam Page at this point? Oh, do we have Tim?
We had Tim.
So I think the voters are going to hold him accountable is what we're going to see. I don't know that the courts will necessarily hold him accountable. And I think he's got a very good attorney that he's hired, Jeff Jensen. I know Jeff very well, respect him well. I'm not so sure also that this is over. There may be more coming. There's indications that there are whistleblowers involved here. That's why there was a redacted version of the indictment. Usually that's to protect identities of whistleblowers. So I think there's a lot still to come. So I would say stay tuned. But the real question is about good government, is what you asked about. We have not had, I would tell you, a decent county executive since Buzz Westfall. And I go back, more than 35 years in county government, and Buzz Westfall was really the last decent county executive that we had, and then we got Charlie Dooley, and we know about all his issues, and then right into Steve Stenger and then into Sam Page. So yes, a pattern, absolutely. As a longtime county resident, still am. It bothers me that our government in St. Louis County is going in this direction, which I mean down, spiraling down. We have to recover, or we're going to be just like the city of St. Louis in 10 years or less.
Morning, Tim. Gabe here. Now you mentioned the voters holding Sam Page accountable. I mean, I'm not sure I can see that, considering that they keep reelecting this guy.
Well, here's the issue. Sam Page has got very little campaign money now. Keep in mind, the primary is a year away. That's not that far. August of 26 is the primary that he's going to have his biggest challenge in. And then he has very little money. He spent a lot of his campaign money on this Prop B battle, as well as the public tax dollars, now that we've heard a lot about. But he spent over $200,000 of his own money fighting this as well. Well, not his money. These are donors' money that they donated to his campaign to keep his power, is what this is all about. And you have to understand how Sam Page thinks, and I know quite well how he thinks. It's win at all costs. That's the hole that Steve Stenger fell into, win at all costs. And once I saw Sam Page heading in that direction, I said it's just a matter of time until he steps over the line, because that's how Sam Page rolls. He decided to use tax dollars to fight this proposition, and he crossed the line, and now he's been charged. And whether or not the courts will hold him accountable, but I don't know. But what I would tell you is things will change. I honestly believe that.
Okay, so with the issue at hand here, you've got the actual flyers themselves, the postcards themselves, the way that they were put together. Specifically, we now know that he was targeting voters, so it wasn't public education. This was a campaign style. Now, his side is probably going to say, well, the language we use technically is within the law, or it's close enough. You can't. But then there's the aspect of the stealing of the money, of the $25,000 or more, and then the other charge $75 or $750 or more. So there's what you said, but then the bigger picture here is how you funded it. Talk about that from a criminal perspective as well, because we're talking about basically trying to manipulate the numbers to keep it under certain marks in order to not have to bid things. But he's being accused of stealing taxpayers' money. And we're talking about the Prop B mailer, but we're also talking about the money. And the money, I think, is what the indictment really centered on to a large degree.
Well, that's right. I mean, the money part is the felony part. The electioneering offenses are misdemeanor, but the money part is felony. And so what you have to keep in mind, though, is his own attorneys, that's the county counselor's office, his own attorney said, Sam, to make this truly educational, you have to put this point in and that point in and that point. You have to put both sides of this argument in, and you didn't. So you need to add this. That was from his own attorney. That's in the evidence. And he decided to send out the mailer anyway without his attorney's advice, following that advice, which when you talk about trying to prove intent, what was your intent here? And that's a big part of a crime, is being able to prove criminal intent. That's a big part of that. Is he didn't even follow his own attorney's advice. He ignored it and did it anyway. And then the whole, keeping it under to where you don't have to go out to bid, so the public doesn't know what's happening. I mean, that all leads to, guilt. So whether or not, do I think he's going to be at the end of the day convicted of any felonies? No, I don't. My personal feeling is he won't. My feeling is that he will continue to stay in office and not step down ever. Even if he's convicted of misdemeanors in this case, or pleads guilty to misdemeanors, he won't lose his medical license. He won't lose his county executive's position, because he honestly feels in his mind that he could beat this and the voters will return him to office. I think he's wrong in that mindset this time. He's had plenty of scandals in the past, and voters have reelected him. But this one is a little different, because now he's got to start raising money. If you were a businessman, would you put your money behind Sam Page right now? Probably not. So that's going to be his biggest issue as a result of this, is he cannot raise funds anymore.
We're visiting with Tim Fitch, former St. Louis County Councilman, former St. Louis County Police Chief as well. Okay, so last couple of minutes that we've got here, Councilwoman Shalonda Webb among those saying he needs to just resign and step down. And this is coming from a fellow Democrat. I think you're right. I don't think he's going to heed that kind of warning. But how is this likely to affect the dynamics between the executive and the council, which are pretty chilly under the best of circumstances to start with?
I don't think it's going to change it at all, because he's got one vote on the county council right now. It's Lisa Clancy. And even she stuck up for him in this indictment in her statement, just saying it was a political witch hunt type of comment. That came from Lisa Clancy. Of course, Lisa Clancy is going to be up for re-election also. My guess is she's going to have a pretty strong opponent as well. So that may clear the deck. for whoever the next county executive is going to be. But right now, it's not going to change the dynamics on the council. It's already 6-1.
Yeah. Okay. That's kind of because, I mean, it's amazing that in a hyper partisan world, you've got a Democrat with a Democrat majority, and that Democrat majority doesn't like him. I mean, that says something more about not even just about the partisan politics. That says something about him as a person.
Yeah, he's got some real social issue skills that he's lacking in the social arena. And he just cannot figure out how to get along with people. The only people that like Sam Page are those that he's giving contracts to and those that he hires for jobs. That's his only loyalty. He's got no real loyalty outside of that. And when you talk to people that donate to him, because I have friends that have donated to him, they feel like they have to because he's the county executive. A whole lot of those people the last several months are rethinking. You know, I had one friend who owns many restaurants in town. He said Sam Page called him and said, "Hey, look, we need to get together. We haven't been together for a while." You know, it's a fundraising call.
Mm-hmm.
And the restaurant owner replied back and said, "Sam, we've never been together." You know, so yeah, so Sam is trying pretty hard right now to raise funds. This is even going to be more difficult for him to do.
So what's next? What do we look for next? I mean, my guess is that the investigation is not over, like you alluded to earlier. I think you're right about that. But what do we look for next in this particular case? Is this going to be limited to targeting Sam Page, or is it possible it could become bigger?
Well, it just depends. The council has limited ability of what they could do at this point because until he leaves office, they can't take any action. They can't suspend him. They can't, put him on the sidelines and appoint a temporary county executive. The charter doesn't allow any of that. So it's kind of a wait and see type of thing, what's going to happen. He's just going to lay low for a while. He's going to talk about all the positive things he's done. He's going to keep trying to get people to give him money. And I think he's going to be wasting his time in that respect. And I also think that you're going to see at least Democratic opponents pop up pretty quickly and announce they're running for county executive, and they're going to start getting money, and they're going to start taking away his donors is what's going to happen pretty quickly.
All right, Tim, we've already tagged you on our social media. I encourage people to find you there and follow you and connect with you there. Really appreciate the perspective on this, Tim, because with your background, you've got a variety of different angles to look at this, and I really appreciate that.
Thanks, Tim.
Anytime. Take care.
All right, 314-912-1019.
I hadn't thought of that angle at all.
Yep.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and remember, Tim was one of those, we talk about these scandals because Sam Page tried to basically block Tim from getting a pension that he earned.
Yeah, that's right.
And then he oversaw the redistricting of Tim's district, redrawing the lines to draw him out of his own district.
That's right. Yeah, there were a couple of times he went after him.
Yeah, he targeted him, directly.
Mm-hmm.
So this will be fascinating to see what happens. We're going to talk to Lauren Trager from KMOV, and let's get the news coverage because they've got 3 reporters on this, including Lauren. And so we're going to get the up to the minute update on this right around 8:20.
Our cell phones, or maybe I should say our addiction to them, ruining the fun at concerts. A rock band just said no to them just last night in St. Louis. Do you agree with the rule? We'll debate that at 7:50.
Hey, Tony Colombo here with Tim Jones for our friends Rodney and Jen Wallner, the Wallner home selling team at Berkshire Hathaway, the #1 home selling team in the St. Louis area. And I can say that from firsthand experience. My wife and I were blown away from the results that we saw from working with Rodney and Jen, from selling our old home faster and for more money than we thought possible to finding our family's perfect new home. They over-delivered every step of the way. And right now, it's still very much a seller's market. So, Tim, for folks that have been thinking about selling their home, it's a perfect time to call the Wallners.
That's right, Tony. And don't forget, they're licensed in both Missouri and Illinois. So no matter where you are in the metro area, you can put St. Louis's #1 home selling team to work for you. The Wallners' experience and work ethic, second to none. And of course, the numbers speak for themselves. The Wallners sell 15 times more homes per year than the typical realtor. Right now, they're working with so many qualified buyers, they'll guarantee to obtain you an offer. If you've been thinking about selling your home, don't wait. Call the Wallners now at 314-810-SOLD. That's 314-810-SOLD for the Wallner home selling team.
Tony Colombo here for my dentist, Dr. Matt Boscia at New Creation Dental Care, the one-stop shop for all your family's dental needs. And Dr. Boscia is always expanding his services, now including the incredible all-on-4 full arch implant procedure Full mouth restoration that can give you back your smile in as little as 1 day. No more suffering with damaged or missing teeth or poor fitting dentures. You can see some amazing smile makeovers, learn more about the all-on-4 procedure, and see everything Dr. Boscia can do right now at newcreationdentalcare.com.
Located in the heart of St. Charles, Kevin's Guns is your family-owned destination for all things firearms. Whether you're a collector, hunter, or military enthusiast, we have it or can get it for you. From new to used rifles and handguns in every style and caliber, our friendly and knowledgeable staff is here to help educate you and ensure you make the perfect choice for your needs. Buy, sell, or browse our incredible selection at kevinsguns.net or call 636-493-1195. Kevin's Guns, where gun enthusiasts come home.
Hey, this is Todd Showalter. Join me on Saturday at 5 as I try to put some fun back into this dysfunctional radio station. It's The Right Mind Show with me, Todd Showalter, at 5 on Saturday. And, you know, speaking of dysfunctional, let's get back to Mike Ferguson in the morning.
Okay, let's keep the bump music going for just an extra second or so here. All right, we just had that cell phone discussion yesterday, guys.
Yeah.
And then there was a new news story regarding an interesting thing happened last night at a rock concert at the Enterprise Center.
Oh.
And it was these guys.
Oh, nice.
It was Ghost. Yeah. I would have loved to have gone to that show. I would have loved to have seen that show. But I get up at 2:30 in the morning, and I don't want to be roaming around downtown around midnight for any concert.
Yeah.
But here, these guys are fun, man. I mean, they're dark, but, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But Ghost in concert there, they had a no cell phone policy at that show.
Mm-hmm. Put it away.
As in when you're checking in and you're going through the, ticket, scan your tickets and you're going through the things and stuff. They have these special bags called, let me see here. What was it called? It was called a Yonder pouch.
Oh, yeah. I've seen these things. Yeah.
So you are required to put your phone in there and it locks for the duration of the show. And then on the way out, they had an unlocking base. You just put the thing on there, it unlocks, and you get your phone back. So it sounds like you could keep your phone,
right?
But it was locked up.
Yeah.
So there was no phone usage, no cell phone usage during the show. And this isn't the only band to do this. It just happened to be in St. Louis last night to do that. What are your thoughts on that, guys? What do you think?
So being a longtime metalhead, this is definitely not the first nor only nor last band that will try to do that. There have actually been acts back in 2015 onwards that stopped shows entirely, saying, hey, we're trying to put on an actual performance.
Yeah.
This is not just a us on stage type thing. And one of the shows I went to, they use a lot of theatrics, a lot of fog, a lot of things to kind of get the experience going well. And then people have their flashes on when they're recording these videos. It's really ruining the atmosphere that the band's trying to create. So I'm actually quite for this.
I don't understand why you would go to a concert and then look at that concert through the phone screen the whole time. That makes no sense to me.
Yeah. Because it reduces the experience. I mean, that's kind of the thing about, watching recorded performances and what the difference between watching something recorded and being there live is the scope of being there live is so much more massive. You get it's the experience of it. So why people would want to turn the live experience into the phone experience doesn't make any sense to me.
And as a reminder, your phone's microphone quality is not great. Nobody wants to watch a video with peaking audio that you can't even hear what's going on.
Exactly.
Come on.
So, like, for instance, when I go to shows, whether, it's, Del Mar Hall or Diamond Music Hall or the Riverport or wherever I go, I always like to snap a picture at the beginning, like, hey, here's the band. And then sometimes I'll say, I'm going to get about a minute's worth, and then I'll be able to send it. Hey, here's the show I'm at. And then I put the thing in my pocket.
Yes.
So not even that would have been allowed here at this. It's like, there are people say, but if there are no pics, it didn't happen. No, it happened.
Yeah, it did.
You were there. You had that experience.
It's called memory.
Right.
There are pics in your brain.
And so should these bands or, whatever, comedians or theater, whatever, should they go more to this? Now, for instance, Enterprise Center's I understand there's some subsidies in there, but it's a private thing. It's a private event. They can set whatever rules they want. I don't think we should be passing laws one way or the other.
No.
I'm not talking about that.
Right.
I mean, But is this a good idea to say we've had it? Some of y'all can't act right with the cell phones. Therefore, no cell phones. We're just going to put everybody in timeout from the beginning of the show to the end.
I mean, would you go to an opera or a musical or any sort of other event that has some sort of artistic value to it with actual performers, and then take videos and try? Because again, being actually on stage and having, we already have to worry about the lights that the venue has, but then having, somebody's flashlight camera on their phone, max, it's very distracting. It's very hard to continue through that. And I don't think that this is a negative thing at all. I think that the overall experience that the band wants to present to the audience who are paying tickets should be prioritized over somebody for Instagram Reels or whatever. How many people actually post these videos and get positive responses?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you remember that story? Was a couple years ago. I went out to one of those like nostalgia metal shows over at the Family Arena, which, by the way, like where Jerome and I are going to be on October 3rd for Lita Ford and Dee Snider. But I was seeing another show there, and I think it was like Tom Kiefer and LA Guns and some of those. And there was this guy in front of me.
Oh yeah,
you remember this story?
Yep.
And he held up his phone sideways. He was recording it. Yeah, I get.
By the way,
real big guy
already.
Real big guy. And he was, I mean, like bigger than you, Jerome. He was a big guy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So he held up, arms extended way up. He wanted to videotape the whole concert.
Let me make myself as big as possible in the middle of the crowd here.
And we had actual assigned seating. So after the first song, I'm like, dude, are you going to do that the whole thing, man?
Because you couldn't move out of the way.
Right. Because that
actually see the concert that you paid for.
And that guy got so mad at me, and he was like threatening to beat me up. He wanted to get in a fight. And like every song he turned around was like flinching at me. And I'm like, you're not going to squat, dude. I've had enough martial arts training to know that you're not doing anything. So I wasn't worried about it, but he threatened to beat me up like between every song, but he put his phone away finally. And so he couldn't put it on YouTube or wherever he was going to, whatever he was going to do with it. I'm like, what are you recording? These songs are 25 years old. We already have heard these.
Just enjoy the experience.
They're on Spotify.
Now, our friend Danny Define, who you can hear on Tony Colombo's show Tuesdays at 2, he texted me as well saying that he absolutely agrees with that. But so my trade-off, though, would be when it comes to people that are in the back of the audience or that they pay for private box seats or the high risers, because they're not, I mean, the issue is mostly if you're in the middle to front of the crowd, you're ruining everybody else's experience. And then I've seen people complain they're in the mosh pit where you're going to get bumped into.
Oh, yeah.
And they're trying to record and then they're getting mad they're getting bumped into. But if they're at the back,
didn't know mosh pits were still a thing.
Yeah, that's the music I love.
I had no idea that was still
standing
a
room
thing.
only. You're out in the front.
Yeah, Stell knows all about it. But but if they're the back of the crowd or they're in a box seat, should there be maybe you can buy a special pass and say I will be able to keep my cell phone to record, because then you're so far back it's not really going to bother anybody.
I think you either do it or you don't.
Do it or don't.
Yeah, I that's an interesting question. But they also I think they banned like binoculars.
Well,
well.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, back in the day, they used to say, okay, no flash photography. If you're at the door, you're not walking in with the giant shoulder mounted camcorders, right? Back in the 80s, like that was not a thing. But they've shrunk them now, and they fit in your pocket. It's the same idea. It's a camera / video camera, and they didn't have those in concerts back in the day. So why should they have to keep those with you now?
Okay, so any other areas that or any other events or things that they should go to a similar rule on this? I got to tell you, even if somebody complained and stomped their feet, like how dare you tell me I can't have my cell phone? Yeah, they probably enjoyed the show more.
Yeah, I mean, certainly concerts. Jerome, you mentioned like opera and musicals and plays and things like that. Certainly those you don't want those. I'm on the fence about ball games. I'm on the fence.
Yeah,
because most people I haven't seen it be a problem at ball games, so I was like, it should be fine.
Yeah, and I would be. Yeah, I enjoy the game more when I put my phone away.
Yeah,
there.
Absolutely.
But 3 hours, you may want to check your messages, even if you shouldn't.
From home improvement to replacement, do-it-yourself electrical projects can be shocking. That's where Grasser Electric can help. They've been lighting up St. Louis for years. From ceiling fans and dimmer switches to repair or replacing your electric. No job is too big or too small for your home or business. Grasser Electric will even install emergency backup generators. So call Grasser Electric today before the sparks start to fly. 636-441-5200 or go to grasserelectric.com.
Attention off-road enthusiasts. Iron Bear Customs has the strongest bumpers on the planet. Plus, brush guards, lift kits, and custom cages for all vehicles. Visit ironbearcustoms.com and mention NewsTalkSTL for 10% off. Iron Bear Customs, built tough for the toughest terrain.
Discover Patriot Powder Coating, your family-owned specialist in Pacific. From small jobs to big projects, we got you covered. Visit our showroom or call 636-551-0377. Mention NewsTalkSTL for 10% off.
Yo, this is Vic. Vic for Vets is proudly honoring our veterans. Every Wednesday at 11:05, you'll hear about that day's honoree and their incredible service to our country.
Hi, it's Ken. You want to nominate a veteran? Send their name, service information, and story to me, Ken, at NewsTalkSTL.com.
Brought to you by Heroes Care, Alamo Military Collectibles, and Monocle's Pizza.
Together, let's celebrate the heroes in our community. Vic for Vets, where honor meets gratitude.
How do you find a roofing contractor you can trust? You could randomly pick one and cross your fingers. Or here's a better idea. Choose Expert Group Contracting. We're proud to use America's most trusted roofing brand, Owens Corning. That means we've been screened for reliability, professionalism, and customer service. Residential or commercial roofing, licensed, insured, and offering free estimates. Why take chances on your roof? Visit expertgroupcontracting.com. That's expert with an X, groupcontracting.com.
KLDY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Belfast, KNBS Bowling Green.
This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at NewsTalkSTL.com.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Today, it's day 2 of an inquiry into a mid-air collision near Reagan National Airport earlier this year. Left dozens of people dead.
A helicopter involved in a deadly January crash with a passenger plane over Washington was flying above its height limit. The helicopter's altitude measuring instrument was also inaccurate. NTSB Chairwoman Jennifer Homendy.
We did testing in May that shows concerns with the altimeters, the barometric altimeters on the UH-60 Limas.
Hearings on the crash will continue focusing on military helicopter routes, collision avoidance technology, and air traffic controller training at Ronald Reagan National Airport. The crash killed 67 people. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
Nothing yet on a motive for the murder of 2 parents who were killed in front of their 2 young daughters. It happened along a hiking trail in an Arkansas state park. The suspect, 28-year-old Andrew McGann, under arrest. The 2 children were not hurt. They're now in the care of family members. President Trump says that even if lowering interest rates did drive inflation higher, there is an easy, time-tested remedy.
If that happens, what you do is you raise your rates and you do what you have to do to stop inflation. But we're keeping the rates high, and it's hurting people from buying houses, and we don't want that.
The Federal Reserve has once again refused to lower interest rates, but this time it was not a unanimous vote. 2 Fed board members support a rate cut. In the end, though, the central bank voted to hold rates right where they are. Tomorrow's the president's deadline for other countries to reach trade deals with the U.S. or face sharply higher tariffs. South Korea has joined 10 other countries that now have a deal in place. In this case, 15% levy on imports from South Korea. The Dow futures up 113 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
The following is not an actor, but a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
Hi, my name's Neil. I have some advice for you if you've been trying to break free from credit card debt. You can start by doing what I did. Get your bills together and call Trinity Debt Management. Trinity is dedicated to helping people like me become debt-free. When I called, my first experience was a feeling of relief. My counselor was kind, and best of all, she didn't judge me. In just a few minutes, she helped me figure out a plan that consolidated all my bills into one lower monthly payment. This substantially reduced my high interest rates and put me on the road to success. In the end, I saved thousands in interest, and today my credit card debt is a thing of the past.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976.
My name is Neil. Take it from someone who's been there. Call Trinity and become debt-free for keeps.
1-800-990-6976.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
The heat wave is over, and the weekend forecast looks amazing. But first, today, some stubborn cloud cover, slight chance of a shower. Much cooler, though, with a high this afternoon of only 79. Humidity noticeable, but not terrible. That humidity tumbles quickly tonight into Friday, and then mostly sunny tomorrow with that low humidity. 81 for the high. We're going to ride that wave of sunshine, low humidity, and comfy temps all the way through the weekend. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matt Shane.
This hour of News Talk STL is brought to you by Stifel, serving investors for over 130 years. Contact your Stifel financial advisor at stifel.com. That's STIFEL.com.
The Napoli heritage of fine dining continues with Napoli Kirkwood. Napoli Kirkwood, now open. So add that to Cafe Napoli in Clayton, Napoli 2 in Town and Country, Napoli 3 in St. Charles, right next door to Napoli C. And don't forget about Napoli Brothers Pizza and Pasta in the district, Chesterfield Valley. All of those locations, plus now, open, Napoli Kirkwood.
Simply Health with Dr. Brian Deloney.
This is Dr. Deloney with Simply Health, now available without a prescription. And this weekend, we have the man, the myth, the legend. We have Parker Jobin with Coalition Gym, and we're going to talk about the difference, what they do, how it's so great for your body, your health. And it's not just about getting stronger, but it's really about living a higher quality life.
Simply Health, Saturdays at noon on News Talk STL. To find out more about Simply Health Integrated Medical, log on to simplyhealthintegrated.com. Mike Ferguson.
Are you pretending to be crazy?
Gabe Phifer.
There's something serious I have to tell you about the future.
Get up, St. Louis.
We let's knock it off.
Mike Ferguson in the morning on News Talk STL.
Get up, this is your cousin.
All right, a lot of stuff going on. The top politician in St. Louis County headed for a date in court after a grand jury indicts him. What's next for the council? So I caught up with Councilman Mark Harder. Oh, you're going to hear from him in just a moment. Okay, so with the Epstein stuff. Okay, so it's not a hoax that duped stupid Republicans, or it is. It's the case is closed, but they're not going to leave any stone unturned as they finish the investigation of the case that was closed, right? Because we're going to get to the bottom and expose everybody, except there's no client list.
Yeah, the FBI and DOJ's official stance was we don't find any sort of reason to possibly investigate uncharged third parties, but apparently there are uncharged third parties.
Right.
Also,
Okay.
stop talking about it.
Yeah, and don't talk about it. So we're going to talk about that because the White House is changing its tune on the Epstein case. Again, I've got the update for you. And there are a couple of Cardinals who are no longer Cardinals. 8:06 right now. Let's go ahead and dump some news on it.
The Morning News Dump, brought to you by The Nutrition Stop.
Successful dump. Wake up, America. It all worked out. You know, I mean, they got all the news.
The Morning News Dump.
Indicted. St. Louis County Executive Sam Page now faces 4 counts from a grand jury. He's accused of violating election law by a political subdivision officer, and he's also facing 1 count of stealing $25,000 or more, another count of stealing $750 or more, and that is related to not only the use of taxpayer money for an anti-Prop B mailer that went out in April, but also the way that it was manipulated. The accusation is in order to use government-owned postage meters and postage in order to campaign against Proposition B. The indictment, of course, related to his use of those taxpayer funds to produce and send those mailers to voters in opposition to Proposition B, which, as you know, was voted down in April. The special prosecutor in this case is the Attorney General. And also, where do we go from here if he's indicted or pleads guilty? I spoke with Councilman Mark Harder yesterday about that to get the what does the council need to be prepared for part of this. And here's just a little clip of our conversation.
What should the council keep in mind when taking the next steps and reacting to the news of the county executive being indicted?
Well, Mike, all this is evolving as we're talking, and we've been trying to follow this case for a while now. With the 4 counts of indictments that came out today, we're trying to kind of decipher and go through that and figure out what it means. But for the folks that are not paying attention to what's going on, there is provisions in our charter that show how we should proceed in this regard. The big thing is that if the county executive resigns, we have a procedure to follow. If the person, the county executive, is committed of a felony and they are forced out of office, we have a procedure to follow, somewhat the same. But it's the procedure is how to go forward to find a replacement for the current county executive. And it's spelled out pretty clearly in our charter.
Okay, in the meantime, because he's entitled to a trial if he wants it.
Correct.
So in the meantime, does this change anything with the operations of the county?
No, it shouldn't. I mean, we still do what we normally do. We have our council meetings the way we normally have them. The county executive does not have a vote on our council. He's just a guest of the council when we have meetings. So the day-to-day operations is not going to change. How he reacts to the media, how he reacts to residents, how his staff reacts to things, that's going to be on him and his staff on what they want to do. So we'll see how the next weeks shake out and see if there's anything that maybe we haven't thought about that maybe come to surface because of all this.
All right. And so far, there's been no real response or statement from Sam Page, but there's no indication that that he's basically going to accept the charges. It appears that he's going to fight them, but we're going to have an update from Lauren Trager here in a few minutes.
Yeah, and the council requested some information about what was being transferred there. Right?
Correct.
So, yeah.
Yeah, because he had his phone, among other things, confiscated, and the council is kind of in a wait-and-see position as well. We had a conversation with former Councilman Tim Fitch about that a little bit ago. You can find that in our podcast probably in the next couple of hours or so. All right. A White House communications official says the Department of Justice leaving no stone unturned in its investigation into the Epstein files. Here's the story on that from our friends at Town Hall.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
Special Assistant to the President, Harrison Field, says the president may have more to say about the Epstein case once the investigation wraps up.
We've got some good cops in the Department of Justice and the FBI looking at the facts as they have them.
As for critics or even Trump supporters worried he may be slow walking the process to protect his own administration, Field says it's simply not the case.
The one thing the president's going to do is stand for transparency. There's truly nothing to hide.
Harrison Fields was interviewed by the Salem Radio Network. Bob Agnew reporting.
But the investigation's closed.
Right. Because we're done. Because
there's nothing there.
There's no list.
And it's all a big hoax, but we're not going to leave any stone unturned because we got a great, just stick with the story, guys.
Yeah.
Stick with the story.
Pick one.
Just pick one and stick with it. Just that's really irritating. All right. This is interesting. You probably saw this on social media. If not, check it out. Just do a quick search. President Trump goes on an insult-filled rant against Senator Josh Hawley on Wednesday. Yeah.
Yeah, this was wild.
This really was. Despite Hawley being one of Trump's most vocal supporters for years now, the president was upset with the senator's support of a bill, and it was a procedural vote in a committee to ban stock trading by members of Congress and by vice presidents and presidents. The bill passed in committee 8-7, with Hawley and the Democrats voting for it and the Republicans voting against it. This is what they used to call the Pelosi Act. So basically targeting, the corruption of Nancy Pelosi. There must be something in there the Republicans don't like, but instead of just saying, I disagree with him on this, I hope the Republicans defeat this in the full Senate, it's going after what a second tier senator. He's in the dirty hands of the Democrats. It goes on these personal attacks.
Being used.
Yeah, being
to
used
target
by
me.
them. I got him elected twice. No, you didn't. But it was just a wild, unhinged social media rant. And Josh Hawley, so far as we know, is like trying to mend with the president. And say,
he's like, it's a misunderstanding. We'll get through it.
I still love the president. And so Josh Hawley isn't, swinging back at it, but he's got more restraint than I would have. That's right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, obviously, the president's tendency to go off like this is it's not one to make friends around the country, for sure. And I really wish he would stay away from this stuff. That having open policy disagreements, I think, is something that I want our government to have.
It's a healthy thing.
That's a healthy thing for the government.
If you do it like grown-ups.
Yeah, right. And that's the problem.
Yeah. All right. The Humane Society of Missouri is in the process of rescuing about 180 animals, including about 150 dogs, from an apparent hoarding situation at a house in Christian County. After the 150 dogs, cats, rabbits, and birds make up the rest of the critters. They were found stuffed into a house in disgusting conditions. I'm going to leave it at that.
Yeah.
Also, keep in mind, they were found when the heat wave was still going on.
Oh, my gosh. So terrible to think about.
Humane Society is asking for donations of things like blankets, newspapers, toys, and, of course, obviously funds to help care for the animals while they are being evaluated and treated. 180 coming in. They got most of them yesterday. There's a few more that they still need to get out today, is my understanding. But that's more than a lot of shelters will take in a month or sometimes 2 months. 180 at one time. That's a lot of critters. That's a lot of fur. That's a lot of feathers.
Yeah, and there's no way they were fitting anywhere nearly comfortably in a little house.
There were news reports on this said at one point they were stuffed so close together
They couldn't move.
you couldn't even see the floor.
Oh my gosh.
It was bad.
Terrible.
Some of them had actually found holes in the wall and they were in there. So it was a really bad situation. Once these animals are medically cleared, the ones who are cleared, those rescues will be put up for adoption. So you can get in touch with the Humane Society of Missouri if you want to know more about that. All right, couple sportsy type things here. The Cardinals lose the final game of the series to the Marlins at Busch Stadium, which means they lose the series 2-1. What do those losses have in common? They didn't score any runs. Yeah. Final score was 2-0 last night. Today's a travel day, so there's no game. I could also say today's a travel day, so the Cardinals will not lose. I guarantee it.
My gosh.
So the Cardinals start a road series with the Padres on Friday. Cardinals are now right at 500, 55-55 on the season. They are in 4th place in the division. They are 10 games behind the NL Central leading Cubs and losing ground. And it looks like the Cardinals front office is officially just kind of giving up on the season. I think they unofficially gave up on it sometime last season.
Yeah.
But the Redbirds are making roster changes. Pitcher Ryan Helsley, closer, been traded to the Mets. Cardinals are going to get 3 prospects, including 2 pitchers out of that deal. And pitcher Steven Matz has been dealt to the Red Sox. He is going there in exchange for infielder Blaze Jordan.
Blaze
Jordan. Come on, that's not a real name.
Yeah. His wrestling boots and trunks have flames on them.
Exactly.
That's what they're.
Don't be surprised if the Cardinals have more trades coming in the next day or two. The trade deadline is pretty much right on top of us, and the Cardinals are under a lot of pressure to make a lot of moves. Don't be surprised if some of your favorite players are no longer Cardinals by the end of the week.
This is your cousin. Get up. What are you waiting for? Get up.
Mike Ferguson in the morning.
Someone in that control room is out of control.
On News Talk STL.
Give me more information.
Jamie Allman here, tossing and turning over retirement worries. You're not alone. 3 out of 4 Americans share your concern about having enough saved. But here's the thing. A comfortable retirement isn't out of reach, even if you're planning for 30 or 40 years ahead. Every day, Jeff Portman from the Gemini Wealth Group helps people avoid the critical mistakes that can derail their retirement. Build your path to financial confidence. Visit GeminiWealthGroup.com or call Jeff directly at 314-888-0123.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor, member FINRA SIPC.
It's one of baseball's fiercest rivalries, the Cubs versus the Cardinals, and the action returns to Busch Stadium the weekend of August 8th through the 10th. Feel the heat, the history, and the excitement as these 2 legendary teams battle it out under the summer lights. 3 big games, 2 historic teams, 1 electric atmosphere you won't want to miss. Great seats remain. Secure yours today at Cardinals.com.
This is Wilson Contreras, San Luis Cardinals for the Loop.
Summer in St. Louis means one thing: Cardinals baseball. It's more than a game, it's an STL tradition. The crack of the bat, the roar of the crowd, the boom of the fireworks. It's the soundtrack to summer for Cardinals Nation. So grab your cap and glove and take your spot in the stands, because in St. Louis, baseball is more than a melody, it's our favorite song.
Taste the difference that fresh local makes. Anthony's Produce supports our local farmers by bringing you the finest locally grown produce in town. From the juiciest peaches and melons to the sweetest corn and ripest tomatoes, we've got it all. Plus, discover our amazing selection of locally made jams, salsas, pickles, and fresh sourdough breads. Open 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 7 to 6:30, and Sundays, 8 to 5. 701 Jungerman Road in St. Peters, or visit anthonysproduce.com.
Hey, it's First Alert Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton from Channel 4, and we are proud to be the official weather source for News Talk STL. Just like you've grown to expect from us at Channel 4, you can expect the same accurate, detailed, and timely weather coverage from News Talk STL. The First Alert weather team will keep you ahead of the big weather changes. And the one thing you can count on in St. Louis, the weather is constantly changing. So Channel 4 and News Talk STL are committed to keeping you up to date and safe.
101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL, live and local.
Listen to what those local folks are telling you.
News Talk STL.
Good morning, Missouri. It's your boy, Joe Pags. I'll talk to you tonight at 10. But right now, let's get back to Mike Ferguson in the morning.
All right, what are the facts of the case against County Executive Sam Page? Then the next big question is what's next? So we've got the update for you. It is 8:19 right now. We're now joined by Lauren Trager from our friends at KMOV, who's covering the story for Channel 4. Lauren, appreciate you being on the program here today. Okay, so we've got, let's start with the foundation on this. We've got multiple counts, 4 counts on this. I think a lot of people are thinking, well, this is just about that mailer that went out. And then to some degree it is, but tell me about what's being alleged in the accusation of theft, especially the $25,000 or over in that one particular account, because that seems to be the big one that the Attorney General is alleging in this case. So it's not even just about the politics of it. There are kind of multiple layers to this.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Thanks so much for having me, first of all. There are 4 counts. 2 of them, though, are misdemeanors for sort of election-related charges. The 2, as you mentioned, are the more serious, which are stealing charges, one for stealing over $750 and one for stealing over $25,000. And those are both felonies, a Class D and a Class C and a Class D felony. So they carry some significant time if convicted. Now, the issue here, essentially what we have learned from the search warrant, the indictment itself does not have a whole lot of information, but the search warrant in which they were able to seize the county executive's cell phone sort of outlines some of the evidence that they are claiming in this, which is essentially that the county and vis-a-vis County Executive Sam Page used county dollars to both print and mail that mailer. And there's some allegations in there that they even reduced the number of addresses they were going to send the mailer to, so that the printing cost would be under $5,000, so they would not have to seek a bid through the normal procurement process in the county. The $25,000, we believe, gets into the postage that was paid, and the search warrant also alleges that they used the St. Louis County postage machine as opposed to the printer's postage. The printer was offering a lower amount on, per stamp to send this out, but they used the county's postage machine, which is a higher amount. Again, to sort of circumvent procurement process is what this search warrant alleges. And that's why you get to that dollar amount. So they sent the mailer out to 55,000 households at a certain cost to taxpayers. And that is what, again, the grand jury found to be an indictable offense. Now, we've spoken to a number of legal experts who are wondering if that's really going to hold up in court, because it comes down to whether or not that mailer was informational or political. And certainly I think people who've read it could feel one way or another about it.
Good morning, Lauren. Gabe Phifer here. So any word on a response from Page himself or maybe his lawyer or a spokesperson or anything?
Sure. I would think we first broke news on Monday of this investigation and that there were subpoenas and possibly a search warrant. And I would say that the county executive's office has been uncharacteristically quiet on this. We have not heard back at all from his spokesperson, who is actually named in the search warrant as well. We have heard, though, from the county executive's attorney, Jeff Jensen, who's a former U.S. attorney. He said that they adamantly and vehemently deny the charges and that they are looking forward to their day in court. They do not believe there was a violation of the law. The county executive said that on Tuesday at a county council meeting as well, that he does not believe anyone did anything wrong.
Okay, I want to follow up with that mention, of the search warrant and his phone being collected by Missouri State Highway Patrol investigators. Do we know of anybody else maybe connected to Sam Page who's also being investigated or could be affected by search warrants? Or from what we know, is it just specifically for Sam Page? Because, messages or text or emails, it's got to go two ways. Somebody else is going to be involved. Is there anybody else that appears to be maybe be subject to a search in a continuing investigation?
Sure. I think the search warrant definitely outlines that the county's chief communications officer had been interviewed by investigators and had provided his own side of the text messages. And then the search warrant says that they were not given in their first request any of Sam Page's text messages. And that may have been the reason legal experts say why they took it that next step to actually get a search warrant. Legal experts tell me to actually seize someone's phone is a very high legal threshold. And so to have met that certainly is a different standard than just say, hey, produce these documents for us. The search warrant does mention by name both that spokesperson as well as another county employee, but that is unclear at this point if anyone else is being investigated or looked at. Certainly, when it comes to an elected official, you could argue the buck stops there. It's whether or not he directed those other officials to do that work. The search warrant outlines the interview with the spokesperson who says, yes, I was doing these edits at the approval of the county executive. We did talk to some county council members, though, yesterday who said, at least from an employment standpoint, perhaps there needs to be some type of internal investigation or some other review as to what other employees may have been involved here. But again, this is just the very beginning of what will likely be a legal battle of some kind, as the county executive says they are going to fight the charges.
So we have the indictments and we have evidence being collected right now. What's next? Are we going to get some court dates soon, or what do you think?
We do have a court date, August 29th, and this is a bit of a different situation than other criminal cases. There will be no warrant, so the county executive will not be arrested or, put in jail for any right now. But this is a summons, so he has been ordered to appear in court, again, not until the end of next month, though. So what could happen in the meantime, certainly on the other end of the spectrum, which is just, the infighting that we've seen in the county council and what will happen next. Some of the council members were calling, at least for the county executive, to consider resigning. I think another, thing to consider is whether or not there might be some people who are calling for his removal if he does not resign. So I think this is, again, you have both the legal case, which will move forward, as well as whatever might happen in the political sphere.
Yeah, you've got the legal part of this, and then you've also got the political part of this, and it's going to be, I think you're right, this is going to be a really, really eventful several weeks on this. So I may bother you, try to get updates as things unfold between now and the 29th. Lauren Trager from KMOV, one of the you got three of you all are all over this, so nobody's covering this more than you are right now.
Well, I appreciate that very much. We're happy to inform your listeners.
All right, thanks, Lauren. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Lauren.
Thank you. Take care.
All right, 314-912-1019.
She's on it.
Yeah, she and John Kipper and one of the other reporters, they are taking multiple looks at this, because you've got the policy side,
right?
Then you got the legal side. So one of the most interesting parts of what she just said, I thought, was to get a warrant for a cell phone, for a personal phone there, that being a higher threshold.
That's an important detail.
That's an interesting detail on this. And also there's talk of, okay, they didn't get text messages from Sam Page's cell phone. Well, either he didn't produce them or they were deleted or whatever the case is, but that doesn't mean that they didn't exist.
Right.
As well. So to kind of break down kind of what the accusations are going to be on this, and that is going to be, okay, did he take evasive measures to keep this out of the public eye?
Right.
It is, when you read the indictment and you read the documents themselves, it appears that's exactly what happened. If we spend more than this amount of money, then we have to put it up for bid. We have to put a public notice, and then we need to make sure we aren't going to do that. If we're going to send this out, they specifically looked for voting records. They wanted the list of voters to send this to, not just to residents.
Yeah, they wanted to target it.
Right. They wanted to target it to voters.
Right. That's not an informational type of concept, right? That's more of a campaign concept. That's let's focus our dollars on where it'll do the most good at the ballot box,
right?
As opposed to we're the government. We want to inform our citizens, everyone who's affected by this.
Yeah. And then to the point that Lauren was making just a second ago, and that has to do with, okay, but is the messaging informational or is it directly campaign? That's subjective.
It is subjective. However,
common sense says he was trying to influence the election.
And if you read it, it's pretty clear. I think in this case, there was basically a specific call to action, right?
Yeah.
And so it's you can't even get the weaselly way out of it. I don't think you can weasel your way out of this.
So then the question comes down to, is he going to be held accountable for doing this?
Will the felonies hold up in court?
Right. The one felony, the other, well, I guess
there are two felonies and
one
two
just
misdemeanors.
Smaller, yeah. And so, or will some kind of plea deal be made, or will they be dismissed, or whatever the case is? So that all remains to be seen. October 29th is almost a month away. August 29th is almost a month away. October 29th is my daughter's birthday.
Okay.
August 29th is about a month away. You could do an arraignment. You could do a hearing next week. So you've got a month away. That gives a lot of time for a lot of negotiations and a lot of, also, to be fair, more investigation to happen as well. And I know there are people who are saying it was a mailer. It was an April election in an off year.
It's not that big a deal, guys.
This is clearly just a political witch hunt because you guys hate Sam Page.
Mountains out of molehills, right?
But it's not.
No.
It's just not. I mean, go back and listen to our discussion with David Stokes about this. If you missed that, that'll be up on the podcast here in a little bit as well. This is a bigger deal because it has to do with politicians being accused of abusing their office and abusing the taxpayers' money. That's what this comes down to with these charges and these allegations.
It's emblematic of a problem that government has had for years and years and years across the spectrum on both sides of the aisle, all that. But it's a particularly egregious violation. And I think that's what makes it rise to this level.
Right. Yep.
Now, remember, we put a lot of work into our social media here, so help you keep informed in case you're not able to bring us with you if you don't have your radio with you. So go ahead and check us out. The first 2 hours of the podcast are up in case you missed any of our discussions today. And then give us a like on Facebook, Rumble, YouTube, X. Helps out.
Smoke signal.
From the Michael's Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
The heat wave is over and the weekend forecast looks amazing. But first, today, some stubborn cloud cover, slight chance of a shower. Much cooler, though, with a high this afternoon of only 79. Humidity noticeable, but not terrible. That humidity tumbles quickly tonight into Friday and then mostly sunny tomorrow with that low humidity, 81 for the high. We're going to ride that wave of sunshine, low humidity, and comfy temps all the way through the weekend. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matt Shane.
Fox News commentary.
The woke mob is freaking out over a sexy jeans ad. Here we go again. I'm Tommy Lahren. More next.
Sponsored by AxeCap Ventures. America, listen up. Gold prices are breaking records. With inflation raging and central banks hoarding, every American should own gold. And like President Trump said, whoever holds the gold makes the rules. AxeCap Ventures owns one of Nevada's largest undeveloped gold deposits and trades for pennies on the dollar. This could be your way to ride the gold boom. AxeCap trades under GARLF on the OTC. Visit axecapventures.ca today.
After years of major clothing retailers going completely woke with their ads and commercials, teen and young adult brand American Eagle wisely chose to go in a different direction, and it's working. That direction features pop culture's hottest symbol of the moment, actress Sydney Sweeney. The commercial and accompanying ad campaign features Sweeney in American Eagle jeans with the slogan, "Sydney Sweeney has good jeans." It's obviously a play on the product and her natural beauty. It's hot, alluring, and harmless. Well, unless you're part of the ridiculous woke mob, then you're one of the folks who labeled it a Nazi ad or felt the term good genes referred to eugenics or white-only traits. This assessment is, of course, totally asinine. Only a stick in the mud looking to be offended would take any issue with the ad and take its message as anything other than a sexy ad featuring a popular young actress. Get a grip. I'm Tommy Lahren, and you can watch my show, Tommy Lahren is Fearless, at Outkick.com.
The Herzog Foundation is the vision of its founder, Stanley Herzog, and it exists to promote quality Christ-centered K-12 education nationwide.
Hi, this is Chris Stegall with the Herzog Foundation. We offer a wide variety of resources relevant to today's families, including a free online publication called The Lion. The lion is one of God's most majestic creatures, symbolizing strength and courage. Named for its attributes, the Lion publication carries articles covering a wide range of topics facing American families and culture, especially related to the education of children. The Lion can be found online at readlion.com. That's READ lion.com.
Sign up for The Lion at readlion.com and find dozens of must-read articles published every day. Visit readlion.com and subscribe for the weekly and daily digests so you never miss an article. Readlion.com. That's readlion.com.
Hi, this is St. Louis County Councilman Mark Harder reminding you to check out my new show this weekend.
The St. Louis County Insider with Councilman Mark Harder.
That's me. Every Sunday evening at 5, we will explore with you behind-the-scenes stories and information that you won't hear anywhere else. Plus, we talk to decision makers and influencers that have impact on what's going on in St. Louis County and beyond.
The St. Louis County Insider with Councilman Mark Harder.
I'll talk to you Sunday night at 5, only on News Talk STL.
So many ways to listen to News Talk STL. Enable our Alexa skill.
Hello.
Hey, Alexa.
Yes, I'm listening.
Play News Talk STL.
Welcome to News Talk STL, conservative talk radio for St. Louis.
Hey everyone, this is State Senator Nick Schroer. I am the host of Stand and Fight every Sunday night. Right now, let's hear more of Mike Ferguson in the Morning Show here on News Talk STL.
All right, it's pretty much always hunting season or approaching hunting season of something around here in this part of the country. One of the biggest seasons, of course, deer season.
Yep.
Obviously, deer season. Hunters are getting ready for it now. It's not deer season yet, but hunters are getting ready for it now. And it's actually a really important part of conservation in Missouri and in Illinois, and both states actually do a really good job with that. It is 8:35 right now. Right now, joined by our friend Jason Eisenbath from Whistlepig Outdoors. You hear me talk about them pretty regularly here on the station up in Troy as well. Jason, appreciate you being on the program here. So I need to decompress from all of this, like the heavy news that we've got here. A lot of people looking forward to deer hunting season. Now that's not coming up for, a few more weeks or so, but if you're a hunter or you want to start, you got to start prepping now. There are guys and gals, to be fair, who are setting up for this now. What are the things that they need to be doing to prepare for a successful hunting season?
Yeah, good morning, Mike. Well, most guys and ladies are, especially the bow hunters, are coming in, getting their bows tuned, getting strings replaced, getting new arrows, and then they're also setting their stands. The opener for the bow season is September 15th, so they want to get their stands and everything hung up on the trees or their spots that they've got picked out and get ready for that now, trim out the shooting lanes and stuff. So, yeah, August is a busy month for bow hunters.
Yeah, and I want to get into a little more specific because you guys, I think it's fair to say, one of the top sources of expertise in the country on that. But let me follow up on something I just said a second ago in that intro, is when it comes to whether it's Missouri or whether it's in Illinois on the other side of the river there, this is actually a crucial part of conservation in the state. So when you've got, well-equipped hunters know what they're doing, they're having a great time. This is a lifestyle for so many people. There's actually an important, really important benefit for nature and for our region when a well-run hunting season happens, right?
That's correct. Yeah. The harvest of animals keeps the populations in check, keeps the deer, gives them more food when the populations aren't as dense. They are more free of disease. When you get a bunch of deer in one location, they're getting more disease. And also it feeds a lot of people, not only people to hunters, but a lot of hunters donate the meat to share the harvest and that aren't so lucky. So yeah, it plays a big role in it and conservation as a whole.
Okay. So, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, I was just going to add that even if the guys that aren't hunting, if you're buying a backpack at a store, if you're buying ammo for your gun just to target shoot, there's conservation tax dollars there that everybody contributes. And that's what funds a big portion of the Missouri Conservation Department is the hunters that buy the equipment, buy the tags. They are the ones that are driving the conservation. So without the hunters, we wouldn't have conservation.
Yeah, that's what I think is fascinating. A lot of people don't know this. I don't mean to stereotype, Jason, but a lot of the city folks do not know that the Department of Conservation is truly one of the rare ones where user fees take care of it. Hunters and fishermen and fisherwomen, they're the ones who actually pay for the conservation in the state.
That is correct. Yes. Yeah. Not to leave out the fishing people out there.
Yeah, which you can hook them up as well. But let me follow, because the bow season, the archery season starts first. You all specialize in this. You were talking in such depth and such passion on this. If somebody's just starting off, I mean, I guess they can go on Amazon and buy something if they want. But even if they do that lower quality thing, you can help them with that. But the reality is that if they want an expert piece of archery equipment, they really need to come up and visit you guys, because, you know, you and your team there, man, they know this like very few people do around the region.
Jay, our bow tech, is very good and knowledgeable at what he does. He can set any bow up. He can fix an issue that you're having. We have new bows in stock. We carry Bear Archery and Hoyt. Bear has bows for the beginner, ready to hunt bows that have everything on it. It's all a package price that we can set you up with. We have youth bows, left-handed bows. We can pretty much take care of anybody. And we may not, we're not experts like the end-all say-all, but we are very knowledgeable. And especially Jay, our bow tech, is very knowledgeable at setting bows up. And we can help anybody. Bring your bow in that you've been shooting for the last 5 years, and we'll get it set up and ready to go for this fall.
Yeah, because is this something that's because all the hunting I've done has always been a firearm season. I've not been archery hunting ever before, but you're talking about customizing it to the person. And so if somebody had one as they're a kid, they're going to grow, and if they want to keep the same one, you can actually adjust that, right?
That is correct. Bows are adjustable. Everybody, different draw length depending on how long your arms are, different draw weights depending on how strong you are. It's fully adjustable. The bows are fully adjustable, and they are particular to each person.
Okay, so when you go hunting, obviously you want the right gear, you want the right clothes, camo, and then obviously in some seasons you got to have the bright orange stuff and all that kind of thing. Why not just go online or go to Walmart or someplace and just get the cheapest stuff you can find? I mean, it's all the same, right?
Yeah. Well, you can definitely go to Walmart and get the cheapest stuff, and I don't disagree with that. I used to do that with my kids when they're little, because you're buying stuff every year. But if you're a guy that is out in the field a lot, and you're out in the weather a lot, you want to get the best gear possible. Yes, you're going to pay the extra money for it. Buy once, cry once, but that stuff will last you a long, long time. I've bought cheap gear and I've bought expensive gear, and by far the expensive gear keeps me warmer, keeps me drier, and lasts a lot longer than the cheap gear.
Producer Jerome chiming in. We're getting some really good compliments from our audience right now, but they want to know, do you have anything for bow fishing enthusiasts in the store as well?
Yes, we do. We carry a full line of bow fishing gear, the arrows, the reels, the actual fully set up bows. That's very popular up here in Troy. As a matter of fact, the first couple weeks of June, these young gentlemen that are hardcore bow fishermen, they cleaned us out, bought every arrow we had, and I think we had 3 or 4 dozen sitting here. So we had to order more, but we're back in stock on those. And yes, we can set up somebody. You can either bring in an old bow for bow fishing that you have, and we'll get it set up for you, or we've got brand new ones sitting here.
Okay, and we're visiting with Jason from Whistlepig Outdoors in Troy. And by the way, I'm telling you, go check out their store. When I was up there and you were showing me, around that first time, and I was getting such a kick out of it because you were talking about that high quality stuff. And that's one thing that you just described as, okay, this may cost you a few more dollars here, but it's going to last longer, which means it's a longer value. But the reality is, Jason, this is just a massive part of so many people's lifestyle. And if you're going to do it in a way that you're going to get the maximum amount of enjoyment over it, especially with the deer season, because I want everybody to have a successful deer season. selfishly because I want them to bring me deer jerky. I want them to bring me venison.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And I'm the same way. If I don't get one, I want my boys to shoot one so we can make deer jerky. But yeah, you want to buy the best gear possible. We carry nothing, no junk. We don't carry cheap stuff. And I know there's some customers that maybe get aggravated with us, but I don't want to sell cheap stuff. I don't want to sell the stuff that Walmart sells. I want to sell good quality product that I've used. And that's one other thing, Mike, that we do here. New products come in. We try to use everything that we sell. Now, it's almost virtually impossible to do everything, but the big portion of it, we try to use everything and try it out ourselves to make sure that we're happy with the quality of the product that we're bringing in and selling to the customer. So we carry all the top brands. As far as deer hunting, we've got First Light coming in. We've got the Hawk, Muddy Stands. We've got for waterfowl. We've got Drake and Banded and First Light as well, and waterfowl, decoys, all the top brands and decoys. So we definitely we don't want to sell inferior quality products.
Yeah, and of course, and then obviously the advice, because I think there's a lot of people they want to get back into it, or they want to start, or their kids ready to do it. I'm encouraging people, because I know people drive from 100 miles around to go visit with you all, and I think that a lot of that is they want to pick your brain on this stuff, and so that's why I'd encourage them to check out. And that's a cool little strip there in Troy, anyway, to go visit to do that, but to get advice. So the way to be in touch with you all is what, and how do they get in touch? And again, even if you live in the city, take that half-hour drive up there. It's really worth it. And your store is just so freaking cool anyway.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah. So they can get in touch with us. They can call us, Google us. It's 636-775-1110. You can come visit us. We're at 651 Main Street in Troy, right on Main Street. There's a lot of other small businesses, privately owned businesses, little shops along Main Street here to visit, not just us. The wives can go shopping down at their style of stores, and then the husbands can come in here and shop here. And then you can reach us at whistlepigoutdoors.com. That's our website. Everything that we have in stock in the store is on the website. So you can kind of peruse the website and see if there's something there that you want. And if we don't have it, give us a call. If you're not seeing it on the website or you're not seeing it in the store, ask us, and we'll try to get it for you.
Yeah, and this is a family-run business. I will let people know as well. So, you guys aren't a franchise of some conglomerate. This is your family business. This is what you all do.
This is what we do. My son, Cole, and I started this back in August of 2023, and it's us. We're here every day, Monday through Saturday. So, yeah, you're talking to the owners when you come walk in the door, and we're happy to meet everybody. I love seeing all the new people coming in. I like talking with the people and talking about their hunts or what they're getting ready to do. So, yeah, this is what we do every day.
All right, go get your advice and go get the equipment tweaked and get to do stuff at Whistlepig. So, Jason, Whistlepig Outdoors in Troy, man, thanks so much for the advice.
Yeah, thank you, Mike.
All right, got some thoughts on that? Get in touch with them, whistlepigoutdoors.com. I'm telling you, it's so much fun. Their store is just really, really cool. Yes, they've got some stuffed animals up there that were the real deal. It's a really cool place to visit. Troy's a lot of fun. So check it out. Definitely worth it. All right, just ahead here. We talked about that concert that says no cameras.
Yeah.
People were chiming in. That struck a nerve with people.
It struck a nerve with me.
Yeah. There are like other areas where are there no cameras. Now, Sam Page is going to say, I don't want them in the courtroom. Tough, Sam. They're going to be in the courtroom. Just saying when that happens. But let's follow up on that just ahead here on 1019 94.1 News Talk STL.
Hey, Jamie Ullman here with my common sense brother, Rob Very, owner of STL Bath and Renovation. And let me tell you something, your home is your castle, but so is your bathroom. Rob, how can you make it beautiful?
Jamie, if you're tired of cleaning, you love the tile, but you hate the grout, we can give you man-made or natural stone in your bathroom for your floors and walls, but no grout. Easy to maintain.
And beautiful. All kinds of selections as well.
More than you can count.
STLBR.com. St. Louis Bath and Renovation, STLBR.com. Thanks, Rob.
Thanks, Jamie.
Hey, folks, Jamie Allman here. Exciting things are happening at the Hideout in High Ridge. Famous for the Sunset Patio, 4 big screen TVs, live music and events, and of course, the wings. The Hideout now has a brand new menu featuring handcrafted burgers and new items like their signature sunset dip and Dave's Chili. And now a second location, the Hideout at Sugar Creek Golf Course in High Ridge, featuring great event space. You can stop by for lunch or dinner. The new 2025 Hideout and the new Hideout at Sugar Creek Golf Course. We'll see you there.
The Vic Porcelli Show.
Speaker Tim Jones, whoosh my speaker.
Why did the men and women who sacrificed and died for this country get one day each year, and those who have to tell us what their sexuality is get an entire month?
So instead of MAGA, they can be MAFA. Make America fabulous again.
Vic Porcelli, live and local, weekday mornings at 9 on News Talk STL.
Beat the summer heat with Johnson Heating and Cooling, your trusted local family business. We specialize in residential air conditioning service, furnace and AC replacement, new construction, finished basements, room additions, and energy-efficient geothermal systems. At Johnson Heating and Cooling, our motto is simple. We treat our customers like we want to be treated, with complete transparency and honesty. Call 636-332-4141. That's 636-332-4141.
The Vic Porcelli Show.
8.8 earthquake hits off the coast of Russia. Tsunami warnings in Alaska. Oh my God, did Ward Clark live through it? We'll find out when we talk to Ward at 10:05 on Thursday.
Weekday mornings at 9 on News Talk STL.
The perfect body, the perfect face. It's like God's best work, all in one place. For the haters ain't perfection. Can't you say it's a burden being wonderful like me?
Hi, it's Randy Tobler here. Pour a big cup of coffee and catch my show every Saturday morning from 6 to 9. Right now, it's back to Mike Ferguson in the morning here on News Talk STL.
Hey, Jerome, you're a reading kind of guy.
I'm a reading kind of guy.
There's a book coming out you may want to get in line for.
Oh,
yeah. Here's the I saw this on AP. They just published this a couple minutes ago. News item. Former Vice President Kamala Harris will have a memoir on her historic presidential run. The book is called 107 Days, the length of her abbreviated campaign, and will be published by Simon & Schuster on September 23rd. Her historic presidential run, if by historic, one of the biggest, most lopsided butt kickings you've ever seen in presidential politics. Literally since Reagan Mondale.
If it goes
or Reagan Dukakis.
Yeah. If it goes on sale and people are interested in me doing maybe a audiobook reading of it, I might pick it up. I mean, I don't know what else you could really add to that besides, wow, I lost.
Yeah, man, that was brutal. Oh, at least I don't have to run against Trump again, kind of thing. Okay, so she said no to running for governor of California next year.
Yeah.
Which means she's probably running in 2028 again, because these political critters, they always have a book to release a year or two before the campaign. That way they can do a book tour. Frankly, that way they can get some upfront money, because whether or not they sell whatever number of copies of books they need, she got probably a large advance. And that's just one of the way that corporate America takes care of the politicians as well. We can't just pay you outright, but you know what? We can buy the rights to your book, even though we know you're never going to sell that many of them. We can give you a big amount of money and then just go, oh, well, we didn't, sell as many as we wanted to, but you got the money.
Now, didn't she end her campaign as president in massive debt? So how much of these proceeds are going back to paying back the donors?
This is just a book deal.
Oh, just a book deal.
It's just a book deal.
Oh,
yep.
Okay.
Yep, exactly. So Kamala Harris coming to a campaign trail near you probably within the next couple of years.
Oh, Lord.
Please
no.
Allison had a really good one on Rumble. She goes, yeah, Sam Page going to wear his mask to court.
I still see people my age wearing like
I
COVID
know.
masks and trying to still. I'm like,
ridiculous.
The world didn't end. Like,
Yeah.
move on.
We didn't need them then.
We did. Fauci
I mean,
said we didn't need them then.
You know what's really bad is that, and maybe this is bad, maybe it's good. I see somebody walking around with one of those masks now. I immediately take a condescending attitude towards them. I do not take them seriously. And I'm not going out of my way to be rude, but I'm not going out of my way to be polite, because I just assume you're either a brain dead leftist or you're really, really stupid.
I go out of my way to say thank you for keeping me safe to them, as they are the only person with a mask on, and when I see people that understand. But I will go and I'll say thank you for keeping me safe, and that they hate that. they absolutely hate it, but it's so much fun.
Oh man! All right, coming up on 8:53, we had quite a reaction to that story about that concert last night. Ghost was in concert, and they. At one, I would have loved to have seen that show, but middle of the week, I can't do late night shows. It was at the Enterprise Center, and they are one of the bands that had a rule. And I actually saw this on the news in one of the TV websites. They actually did a news article on, you're not going to be allowed to have your phone access to your phone during that show. So you walked in and there's like these special bags, and you had to put your phone in before they let you in. And then it was like magnetically sealed.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like you could keep your phone with you, but you had no access to it. And then on the way out, you could put the thing on this little demagnetizer, whatever it was. It opened up the bag, and then you could go on about your day. But nobody, unless they found a really good way to sneak through it, they for the most part, nobody was allowed to use their cell phone during that concert. I kind of like that. I will take pictures when I go see a show somewhere, but I was like, take it. Hey, I'm here. This is fun. This band rocked. But I put it in my pocket. I couldn't imagine wanting to watch a show through a cell phone. So there's that. And then the question is, well, should they not allow people? It probably was a lot more enjoyable for people.
Yeah, I mean, there are also times where a band will try to do something special and unique just for the people at the concert that they're currently at, that they don't want getting leaked out there, because it's supposed to be a thank you for coming.
For you. Yeah.
And then we see the same thing at comedy events, because there were issues for a while that people would secretly record maybe an off the cuff joke or something that they wouldn't get the full context of what was being said, and then they would post on it like, look at how vile and evil they are. And it's like, well, you're missing the entire setup for the joke.
Right. Yeah. It's a whole cancel thing. Yeah. And then we asked, where else should people have their cell phones banned? And we had some pretty good answers.
We did. One of them that resonated with me is DMC commented that they are an issue at weddings as well.
Yes. Yeah. That's a good one.
I've done professional videography for weddings, and I mean, I'm getting paid quite a bit of money to be there, and they will announce, please, everybody, we have a videographer, we have a photographer. So during the vows and the kiss and all that, just keep your phones out, because we'll have it all professionally recorded. And I've had times where I missed that event because at the very last second, somebody stands up with their cell phone that they ignore and then now I have to explain to the people that paid me a fair sum of money why I don't have their special moment, but they have this really crappy, shaky.
Okay. When that happened, who did they get upset with?
They got more upset with me.
Really?
And it was, part of it is because, again, I think they expect us to be able to account for that.
Yeah.
Now, there are times where they're understanding and whatever the case may be, and I'm willing to take their cell phone footage and splice it in just so they have something. But it's that idea of, well, you're supposed to be professional. Why did you not have?
But you also don't want them roaming around with a camera.
Yeah. And we've also had people that have come up and they have kids that will come up and they'll start talking during the vows, and that's getting caught by the microphone. But yeah, more times than not, I've had people ask for refunds. I'll do a 8-hour session the entire day, edit it down to the most magical moments. And then because somebody from their family that they specifically told not to do it, that ruined the entire thing. And now they want an entire refund for all my, and I'm like, nah, I'm not going to, I'm sorry. Your people can't follow basic directions that you impose, but
yeah, because we asked it at our wedding, we asked people to not, the pastor asked that. People for the most part respected it. I mean, so we didn't really have any issues with that, but what about like graduations would be another one?
Yeah. Graduations.
It's like, okay, you're getting their picture. Why is it so crucial to get your picture? And this maybe follows up that cell phone addiction discussion we had yesterday. The event is happening. You're not going to look at your cell phone video 2 days from now, much less 10 years from now. Just enjoy the moment and soak it in.
And people are liking your post when you post the stuff, not because they think it's good quality, but just because they like you and they want to support you.
Right.
So stop liking people's posts as well when they do this kind of thing.
And then that scrolls up and it disappears within the next few minutes, and it's,
and then you
nobody looks at it again.
And then you wait like a year so it comes up in your memories of, remember when I did that?
Yeah.
No, nobody cares. Stop ruining professional endeavors.
So I imagine there'd be some people who initially are like, how dare you tell me I can't have my phone to my concert? I paid however many dollars I paid to go see Ghost at the Enterprise Center. But I got to bet that by the end of the first song or into the second song, they probably are like, yeah, I'm having more fun. I imagine they would have more fun at a show that way. I would have more fun.
Absolutely.
Without a doubt. All right. What's going to happen with Sam Page? We're probably going to get more information throughout the day. So make sure that you are checked in with us here. We are going to bring you up to date all throughout the day and also throughout tomorrow as well here on 1019 94.1 News Talk STL.
News Talk STL, the Hammond Institute for Free Enterprise.